All right, here we go. What's good, everybody? It's your boy DQ here from The Gift is Free. You know what I mean? Back at you with another podcast. I know we took a little break for a while, but we had to get some things in order, man. Corona was jumping off, and we had a whole bunch of prolonged interviews that we were supposed to do that Corona kind of got in the way. But we've been coming to y'all every single week on the live, and I appreciate everybody that's been joining in and everything like that. But like I said, we back with the podcast. And tonight, man, proper introduction. I can't even. To be honest with you, this is one of my personal favorite interviews. And I ain't even did it yet. Definitely. I mean, we was in the same class. This guy was remarkable on the court, man. I've seen him battle with some of the best guards in our class. You got to think he was going against, the Omar Strongs and a couple of the older guys, the Malcolm Delaney's was around, and all of these guys was around, and I'm talking about some major basketball players. And this guy he didn't even fly under the radar because everybody knew what it was, but he was just a special player, man. I always had a respect for his game. Went to Cardinal Gibbons High School, and wound up taking his talents to North Carolina for college. Where he was an All-American as a freshman. Well, we'll get to that. We're not going to give you too much right now, but tonight we got my man Jamar Briscoe on, ladies and gentlemen, and I'm definitely excited to have my man on the show tonight, man, for sure.
Yeah, excited to be here, man. I appreciate the opportunity to keep it real tonight, one time for the city. Um, it's an honor, talk about this. I don't really get to talk about ball too much. I try to keep it humble. So I'm
And
ready. I'm
that's
ready to
that's
get it in.
that's one thing that that's why I kind of was trying to get this interview, and I was really so surprised that the quick response. It wasn't even I think, yeah, I got you. Yes. You
Yeah, I
feel me?
think it's time. It's time. I think I'm at the age, what I'm saying. And like you kind of said, man, the respect that was earned from ball, went a long way in this town, to around this country, and as well for me. So I think it's the proper thing, to give my perspective on it. So I'm ready.
That's man. Listen, man. You come from a city of a lot of dogs, man, and it's crazy
Sure.
because, like I said in the beginning, and just like you said, man, you earn that respect. And a lot of people that's in the city, like the players that's big time players, and that did their thing when they was out there doing their thing. They know who you are, but a lot of people don't speak about you when it comes to the, you know what I mean, the mass hysteria that comes around some of these players. You know what I'm saying? And you know what I'm
Right,
talking
right.
about. You feel me? Some of
Yeah,
these other
yeah, 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 yeah. To speak a little bit on that, locally, honestly, it was hard. It was hard. You spoke about some guys, Malcolms, and probably one of my favorites, Sean Mo. The program at the time that we played for, Mount Royal, eventually Team Mellow now, we did a lot of, we didn't, as we got older, we didn't really play locally much. So the opportunity for a lot of these people to see us, they know about us. Obviously, those two guys in particular, they had bigger followings at the time than I did, but they didn't see us play a lot. You know what I'm saying? We played, we was playing nationally ranked competition. So that's where I got a lot. That's where I gained a lot of my confidence and credibility and to come back home. So honestly excited to come home sometimes, man, and play in the local leagues or local team because I knew my friends and family would be anxious to see me play. You know what I'm saying? So the kind of under the radar ups and downs throughout the city or locally, that's kind of something I went through that I used to fight with as a kid because it was like I would hear these names, like you said, the Omar Strongs and the whoever else that was ripping it up in the town locally. You know what I'm saying? So I always wanted a chance to really compete, and we never really got a chance to compete, in the city or stuff like that. So, but it is what it is. Everybody knew. the respect. Those who played the game definitely understood and respected me as a player. And but the game of basketball, man, you gotta prove it every time. So it's never like a time when you can really rest and just live off your name or live. Somebody always gunning for you, whether they're younger, they're older, whether you trying to come up. And this is the competition of this town. Like you said, it's a bunch of dogs, especially at the guard position. We're known for that tough, tenacity guards. You know what I'm saying? They specifically come here to find those type of players. And you got to stand out like a sore thumb.
That's a certified fact, man. And I did want to jump too far ahead. You kind of talked about it a little bit. We're going to get back to it in a second, but coming up in that, like just because you kind of spoke about it in that kind of that certain dog, that certain caliber of player, that certain character of a player coming up. Was you born and raised in Baltimore City or in somewhere in Maryland? Were you born here?
Yeah, so I'm born and raised in Tri Hill, so South Baltimore. So that's where I grew up at. So I spent it really wasn't at the time that I was coming. I was only really two, really basketball players. I think at the time that people really know about. It was me and one of my close friends, Reggie Holmes, who went on a bit Morgan's all-time leading scorer. So I think, yeah. So that was. We was our own competition in our own little way. We had our own, you know what I mean? He was older than me, so I kind of, we had that same work ethic, and we was just pushing each other within our neighborhood, but we ain't really had no program, though, to play for. Right. As a West Baltimore, you got all the different programs over West, Bent Low, the Mount Royal, over East, Cecil Kirk's, Chick Wed. So we had to come and join that, which, man, that's a whole nother challenge and story itself. Like, a kid coming from South Baltimore coming to play with these West Baltimore teams was a whole different dynamic and fitting in outside of basketball and then fitting in also on the court. You know what I mean?
Right.
We still had that neighborhood territorial feel and stuff like that. So that's a whole nother story, man. But honestly, Mount Royal kind of embraced me from day one at the age of 8. I was actually cut from Mount Royal at the age of 8, and then just stayed with it and finally made the team. And actually, I got a great story.
Hold on before you get there, because I want to ask you this because it's funny because I had a couple of different interviews so far, like. And I had a football player on here that plays in the CFL. And when I asked him, I said, "Yo, was basketball always it? So like, was basketball? I mean, was football always it for him?" He said, "No, I was playing basketball when I was out. Oh, I wanted to play basketball." So did you just know it was basketball from the jump, or
I did? I did. I was also good at football. I was also good at football, but I knew football wasn't for me. Like I had a lot of people pushing me to play football and pursue football, especially in high school. But I knew I ain't like the outdoor. I ain't gonna hold you. When December hit,
no, I'm not out there. I don't like it, yo.
So,
that's the reason.
When December hit, man, my quality, my value as a player went down. When they cold
out there,
cold. Yeah. So, I just felt like I don't know, man, basketball, and it went fast for me. I was learning fast. I was traveling fast. You know what I mean? It embraced me pretty fast, and it was just like it was attractive to me, and it stuck with me from day one.
That's a bet. Hold on, we're gonna take a quick pause, real quick. Is my screen choppy?
No,
you can see me clear.
I can see you clear.
Yeah, my joint choppy on my end for some reason, man.
I can see you clear. I can see both of us clear. Actually.
All right, well that's a bet then, because when the download is gonna be clear, then I ain't tripping.
You got an Android or something?
No, I'm on my MacBook. I actually was going to ask if it was your situation, but I didn't know what was going on.
No, I see it very clear though.
All right, well we good then. I ain't worried about it then. Just to I'm hop back in and let me get back to that question I was going to ask you. Matter of fact, So basketball, you kind of figured it out because football, and likewise with me, I'm not with that cold shit. So
Yeah.
what was kind of like, I know you know what I mean, you was kind of motivated. I know getting cut motivated you, we moving up a little bit, but what was early on? What was someone or something that motivated you to play basketball, or was it just something that was just fun for you, or was it a motivation from the jump?
Yeah, for sure. I think it all boiled down to the respect thing. You know what I'm saying? The typical story. You know what I'm saying? I ain't going to downplay it, but
Yeah,
either you gonna pick up a ball, you gonna pick up some drugs. You know what I'm saying? But the
facts.
ball at the time for me was it gained you gained the same respect. You know, as if you was in the streets. You know what I'm saying? So people showed you the same amount of love if you perfected that craft, as if you was, you know what I'm saying, doing your thing
Man, these
outside.
youngsters got
So
to know that. These
yeah,
youngsters got to know that, yo.
right. So it was that for me. It was like I wanted that respect in a way, and I wasn't ready to jump out there and risk it all in that way. So I seen I could get the same respect from hooping and playing ball, and I embraced it, and it embraced
Facts.
me back. You know what I'm saying? And then our neighborhood embraced me back because when they see you following something, they see they can't stare you no way. They gonna let you go. You feel what I'm saying? And they allow you to be who you are. A
Yeah,
lot of kids these days aren't comfortable making that decision, those type of decisions, because they not comfortable with who they are, and people take advantage of you like that. So
that's
I let basketball take advantage of me. You feel what I'm saying?
no, that's perfect, bro. Because that's something I actually was going to ask you too, a little bit later. But you can kind of talk about it earlier because of the circumstance you was in, living in South Baltimore, and even being around Baltimore in general. Like, because I wasn't born and raised in Baltimore. I just got a lot of friends that's from up Baltimore, so I can
Right,
kind of
yeah,
talk to them and kind of hear from what their upbringing was. But dealing with that aspect, people don't really understand how hard it is to keep making that right turn to go to the basketball court instead of going to the left. But see, the
right,
difference is like when we was our age, bro. I'm not even gonna lie. I'm not even trying to say it like I'm that much older than the younger guys, but we had older cats that was really the main
right,
dudes that was around that would tell us
right.
to
We
stay
still
on the court and see what
exactly.
we could do on the court. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah, it was
Get a
still
lot
some
of passes.
OGs left. That's a great point. It was still a few. It wasn't many, but it was a few OGs left that still was that was rooting for you. You feel what I'm saying? And they for whatever reason they still had a love for ball too, and wanted
Yeah,
to see you prosper and advance or evolve into whoever you was going to be through sports. So it was still we still had a lot, especially in that South Baltimore area. I think at that time in those days we had a lot. It was a few great men, man, that would push us that would push me to play. So I can name a few, man. It was awesome. My stepfather played a great part in that too. Him being in the streets or from the streets, and so his influence on other guys push them to push me. They
yeah,
did see me
right.
going left, and that's how it was. My mom, I mean, she was, a super soldier. So I really ain't had to worry about a lot of those differences. When I got to those bridges, and a lot of my friends, man, they played, or they want, at least they wanted to play. You know what I'm saying? They might not have went as far as me in their careers, but they wanted to play, so it was competitive, man. They kept it competitive, and I think that's the big difference. Is a lot of these kids don't really have too many friends outside of the game that's pushing them. A
Yeah,
lot of their friends are on their team. You know what I'm saying?
facts,
Because
facts.
the social issue isn't there no more. They're not outside. They're not going to the basketball courts. They're not. You know what I mean?
No,
So it's
definitely.
it's it's a, it's a big difference, man. The playground for us was really the playground. You
Yeah.
feel what I'm saying? So the playground aspect is dead these days.
Okay. So that's a good segue. You the master of the segues tonight. I'm trying to tell you. So That's one thing I was going to ask you too. Like, did you come up doing a lot of drills? Because we kind of getting towards like, I mean, I know you talked about the 8
Yeah.
years old, but did you come up doing a lot of drills, or were you more so of a stay at the park all day type of dude and
Um,
try to get on with the big dogs, or how was
yeah,
that?
I played more. I played more, and then my drill. I drilled, but it wasn't the cones. You know what I'm saying? It was always visionary. It was still like if I did drill, it was game mode. I was going game speed. I was putting game positions, and I kind of carried that same training technique throughout my whole career. So I knew how to train. I knew how to work as a kid because I always loved to play. So you never had to push me to play. What I had to learn how to train, but I learned how to train early in my career. I had some Mike K. son was a big time point guard, played for Southern when they was ranked in the country back in the day. I worked with him a lot. Uh, Keith Goody, you know what I'm saying? I came under some guys that been there before. You know what I
Yeah,
mean? And so I grew. I still loved it. It was addictive. I couldn't. I wanted to stay around those guys, and I seen like again the respect that they had from just staying on their journey and respecting, respecting their craft. Like they still had the same respect as if they were in the street and all that. So I
yeah.
was like, yeah, I wanted that. You know what I'm saying? That was attractive to me. I embraced that, man, real heavy, and it took me far. It took me far, and I met a lot of people, and I learned a lot of things.
That's what's up, man. So I know we talked about kind of the early influences and whatever the case may be. Was it ever a point that was when you was playing in your early days where you was like, man, I don't know, this just too much. I'm ready to say, fuck this. I'm out. I ain't fucking with this. This is crazy, man. I'm
In
good.
my Yeah, in my early days, it had a point. In my early days, it did. We had mind you, I was young when I first started trying out for team, well, for Mount Royal in particular. They didn't have my age group, so until I made the traveling team, um, they would send me to these different programs. So it was one time I had to go to Chick Ware to play, I think during AAU. And I was like, man, fuck that. Man, I ain't trying to play. It was over East Baltimore. It was far. I ain't never seen these niggas before, over East. You know what I'm saying? So I'm like, man, I ain't trying to hoop with these niggas over here. You know what I'm saying? Then they had a coach, Gerald. As I got older, I understood his message and respected him as a man. But when I was young, I ain't like Yo at all. I ain't like just tap. I ain't like his swag. He was always yelling, but it wasn't like a motivational yell. You feel what I'm saying? It was just
Yeah,
like he was yelling to be seen or something, man. At that time, like I said, I was young. I didn't understand. I grew to understand him and respect him as I got older, but I just wasn't feeling the whole situation. You know what I'm saying? It helped me grow as a player. Because I had to fight every day, which was
right.
another. You know what I'm saying? I had to fight for everything I got over there. You feel what I'm saying? So, and that was another way to respect. So that was just another level that I had to reach. You feel what I'm saying?
Man,
And I
that's
think
that's
that was the only time I felt like, man, fuck it. You feel what I'm saying? I ain't trying to hoop with them.
I think I had two moments with that, and one of them involved you, and the other one was with O. And I didn't. It was just. I said, man, if college, I said, you know what? If college is going to be like this, if this is what it is, yo, I can't just go. I come with what I come with. I do my thing.
Right,
But
right,
if
right,
that's
right,
what
right.
it is, yo, no, I'm cool. I'm all right. You know
Real
what I'm saying?
talk, bro. Man, but them two, like them two. I mean, me and O. I mean, that's just. I mean, at that time, it really didn't get too
I'm gonna
much
get
better
to
than
it.
that.
I'm gonna
You
get
know
to
what
it.
I'm saying?
We're
So
gonna have a special. We're gonna have a good talk about that because
yeah,
that's
yeah, yeah, yeah.
people talk about the verses and people talk about this free tour. I said, man, if I could go back in time and get
Yeah,
these two dudes one
yeah,
game, bro. That's one game I pay whatever amount of money for. I don't know if
yeah,
people feel the
yeah.
same way, but that's just how I feel about
Man, we've been hearing that for years, man. For years.
it. And it's
Yeah.
crazy because, man, we're going to
What do
talk
you
about it.
think?
I got to get
Yeah,
these
we'll
out
get to
first. What'd you
yeah,
say?
we'll get there. We'll get there.
Man, that's crazy. But all right, so check this out. So now you kind of you sprung into your teenage years. I'm fast forwarding a little bit because it seems like you just locked in. So it's not really a bunch of side stories as far as that. You stayed locked in on basketball. Now, did you talked about Mount Royal? So were you introduced to AAU from the jump too? Was that something that you knew
No,
about from the break?
no, I didn't make the traveling team. My first 2 years at Mount Royal, I was playing just the house leagues, and
Right. Okay.
I'm talking
Okay.
about literally getting my ass whooped. I came
Yeah.
behind, man, I came behind two tough ass guards at the time. It was Desmond Thomas and Eric Barksdale.
Mm.
So I told you I got a story about that. So that was my first tryout. And it's crazy because I always said I wanted to say something to Mr. Corbett, who was the coach that ran the program.
Yeah.
I never seen nobody try out like that after I came. And I'm like why you do me like that? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But anyway, it was just us three, right? It was a Saturday. I remember the Saturday practice. My mother was there, champ. And I tell you, I ain't get a bucket. This was I think this was one of this might have been the only time the last time I was like the weakest link in the
Yeah.
gym. Like
Okay.
I was the guy we was drilling, we was playing 1-on-1s and all these different drills. Mind you, at the time I told you I wasn't drilling like that. I didn't know how to drill. So they
Right.
was up there drilling and cones and pulling up and all this and all that. I'm on an AI tip. I'm raw out the street. I want to cross and get a
You
bucket.
crossing.
Yeah, I'm heavy left to right, right to left. You feel what I'm saying? So, man, I ain't get. I think I was a dude that day, man, where they was getting the end of game bucket on me in every drill, right? So it's crazy, man. That was the toughest moment that I ever had in my life. But I didn't shy away from it as a kid, though. I ain't quit or like I wanted to come back. I knew right then I wanted to play for Mount Royal. I wanted to play behind these guys. And it was an immature reason why it's because I was like, shit, if I can just get better and play against these dudes, can't nobody else out here fuck with me.
No
So
way.
that's all I was worried about was going back out Charlie Hill and fucking everybody up. You feel what I'm saying? I wasn't even it was like, all right, I'm gonna get my ass bust up here, but I'm gonna fuck everybody up on Charlie
Everybody up.
Hill. You feel what I'm
As
saying?
soon as I
Because it
get
ain't
back
even gonna be
around.
close. I wasn't even thinking about like getting
Yeah.
better over time and stuff like that. That was really my mindset. Like, shit, all right, I'm gonna take the brutal beating up here. I'm gonna put all these niggas out there, and it started from there. And then I started to get better. And sometimes they needed me to play, sometimes they didn't, and then I started to fit well with the team. And then I was coming off. I made the team. Then I was coming out the bench. So this process went on for 2 years until I became, I think it was 10 or 11, and he finally got my age group. It was either 12, it was some shit like that. It was 11 or 12, and I finally got my age group, yo. And it just man, and then from there, I gained and gained and gained confidence and gained confidence, and then it just kept getting things start opening up for me, more opportunity, and it was literally like it happened overnight for me. You know what I mean? I mean, it didn't happen overnight, but like
Right. Right. Yeah.
it just was a constant grind, and that for real shaped me, man, for a lot of the challenges I had, man, with basketball throughout college, pro, wherever. You know what I'm saying? So it
Right.
always kind of went right back to that moment with Mount Royal, and I just never really felt defeated.
My man Kev, when I told Dave Spencer and Kev and all of them,
Yeah,
I told them I was having you on here, man. The first person hit me back said Kev, said, that's Mount Royal right there. You know,
right,
every
yeah.
time he talk this Mount Royal shit, I'd be like, yo, y'all, it's not a fraternity, yo. You can't be stomping niggas every time
Oh,
somebody.
it's for sure. It's for sure for eternity.
Yeah, yeah, it
That's
is. It is at this point a
it's for
fraternity. I be hating on it because I wasn't in it. So I be, you know what I mean? No, it's crazy, man. Because like a dude like Kev is talented too, and it's like just to hear some of these guys like Kev and Big Drew and Dev and like Jamar, man, he was that man, and it's crazy to kind of hear these stories from these guys. You know what I'm saying? But at the same,
man, they was tough as shit. Kev was tough. Kev was playing with me at like he was hella young. He was playing older than me sometimes. Like I thought, I was like, man, they got this one time. I don't know if you remember, but they put Kev. Kev wound up playing 17. I think I was 14 or 15. He probably was like 12, you know. And he played 17 one tournament. I'm like, why the fuck they ain't told me to play 17 man? But he was a tough man. He was tough. I just love his game, love his toughness. But the thing, man, about him, man, the respect was there between all of us, man. Because that gym, that little ass gym, man, he just locked them doors. And it ain't matter how old you were. It ain't matter how big you were. You was gonna leave. You was gonna leave, man, with your name on your back. You feel what I'm saying? Like that's the only thing you had was your name, and you was gonna figure it out. You wasn't gonna leave till you did.
See, the thing about it was for me, like I didn't even get introduced to AAU basketball until I was about 15 or 16.
Right.
That's
that was a little late.
That is extremely late. Once I found out what it was about, like I knew what it was about to an extent, like, but all we knew about it in the early stages was that shit cost a lot of money. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
And the reason why it costs a lot of money in our minds like that is because we're not on that level. Because niggas that's on that level, they don't pay all that. You see what I'm saying?
Right. Yeah.
Because it comes with the territory. But when I look back on that situation, man, I look at the Mount Royals and the Team Mellows and the Cecil Kirks from back then. Man, all of these guys in these gyms, first of all, even if you're playing with Team Mellow or Cecil Kirk or you playing with Mount Royal, all of y'all playing an open gym at least once or twice throughout the week. Every one of them players.
Yeah.
So every one of them players is ranked. Every one of them players is fearless, got game. Y'all sharpening than each other every single time y'all play. You see what I'm saying? So I always used to be envious of that for one. So that's why I asked you about the AAU question. Like, when was it that you got introduced to it and when did you get your bones? And you kind of explained it like, man, after going through that little struggle in the beginning, you know what I mean? After that, it was kind of like I kind of got accustomed to it. But you know what I mean? I just look at it like, man, it's just thinking about it like you in that joint. I'm just thinking about who else is in there. You know what I mean? That I can't even imagine.
Man, this is name a few. Shit, I don't know you. Edward Tyson, Butts. You had
Butts Tyson. We love you, Butts.
Yeah, Butts. You had Itchy. I don't know if you know Jermaine
we
Bolden.
Love you, Jermaine Bolden. We love you too. I'm sorry to give y'all governments out tonight.
Yeah, man, you had motherfucking. So you got Desmond. You got Malcolm. You got Sean Mosley. Shit, Big Gut. I mean, it was, man. Some of them. You got Kev. So you got who else in there? I don't think Will was in there. I know he played for team, but I don't think he played like the Mount Royal. You got Eric Barksdale, Ira Garrison. Shit, man, that shit was tough in there, man.
It's crazy in there.
Yeah, Nate. You got Nate. He was better. He was good at football too. You got Tavon. Tavon was in there. Tavon Austin.
Yo, now hold on. Wait a minute. Because I've said this before on my show. I want you to kind of give me a little bit of some backup on this. Tell the people that Tavon could play basketball, man.
Tavon was tough as nails, man. Strong as shit, fast. The same attributes he has in football. It was the same in basketball. He just loved football more, you know, or he just was better at football.
Yeah,
Tavon was tough, man. Strong, gritty, and he was just loose. Like the game was fun to him forever. You know what I'm saying? It wasn't never that stressful to him, man. He loved it. He would dance out there. It was tough, man. We had some shit. Justin McCoy, Mount St. Joe.
That's my boy.
Yeah, man. Sal, white boy, white boy getting. It was tough, man. Melo came with that motherfucker. I ain't played against him, but he came home a few times, man. It came in that little box, and it's tough, man. You can feel it though. I don't know if you ever been down there.
No, I have. I've been there for sure. Ain't played a game.
Man, you can feel it like walking into that building. Like you can feel it feel like a graveyard of like basketball. But you know what I'm saying? It give
I
you
feel
that
like it's a
feel.
workshop. Like I feel like it's got
Yeah,
that butcher shop, that workshop
right.
feel.
It's spooky, man. Then you hear cool voice. I still to this day, man, get trembles, man. He say something, I might do start shaking and shit. Like, man, I ain't standing here long. Y'all can have this one. Yeah, but yeah, it was some days, man, in there, man.
Man,
Bro, it was so many people, man. That was out that gym, man. Dante
yo,
Green, how I forget him.
who?
Dante Green.
I thought you said him. I thought you said him already.
Nah, I ain't say Dante Green. He was in that motherfucker, man, getting busy. So, it was some tough, man. Some tough, man. It was tough in there, man. It was hard. It was hard.
No, I totally can understand. I used to be down in my crevices in Anne Arundel County, wondering what was going on up there with Mount Royal and all of that. So, um, just to kind of, I mean, I'm gonna jump around a little bit, but just to kind of look at that kind of that landscape. Who would you think? Who would you kind of proclaim? I mean, as a teenager at that time, I'm gonna ask you teenager because I don't want you to say once you get to high school. Before
Yeah.
you get to high school, who was like kind of the cream of the crop? If you had to name like you know what I mean, five to seven players. I mean, who was the cream of the crop? Like you knew that these dudes was the cream of the crop. Even if you want to put yourself in there.
In our class,
Yeah, our class.
oh yeah. Also, I'm gonna go with So in our class, you gotta go with. I'm gonna start from east to west. So
And
you
this
had
before high school.
yeah. I'm a. So in our class, you gotta go with I think Troy Franklin.
Mm,
Um,
mm, mm.
Troy Franklin over at Baltimore Stars. He was always tough as nails. You had I don't know if you remember before high school. Um, shit. Yeah, Justin McCoy he was a bigger guard.
Yeah,
He
he
wound up
was.
going to Mount St. Joe. 4 years of varsity. He just it was a tough situation for him over there because they had D1 guards the whole for 4 years.
Guards
Um,
and forwards.
you gotta go with Sean Mosley. I mean, he was fucking. He might be arguably one of the best players in Baltimore history. He came out. He was '08. Um, who else coming out? I think myself. It was a couple guys who probably didn't do as well and coming in high school. It was a dude from Cecil Kirk, man. I forgot his name though. I forgot his name. I don't think because I don't before high school. I think came strong in high school.
Mm.
I think O started to like really evolve in high school. He ain't play a lot of rep, or at least I didn't see him really around prior to high school. So we got Troy Franklin, Sean Mosley, myself. Um, who else was some tough ass guys? Man, tough ass players. Um, you still had I think Terrell Vincent and them. I think they was '08 too.
Yeah, Terrell is with us.
Yeah, they was good. He was good. Larry was good. Larry Bashford. He was a bigger guy. He was big as shit. Strong.
Big Drew Fitzgerald talked about him.
Yeah, yeah. He came up on that mob. I think Larry was like his point guard in high school, so he's seen him a lot. And
I didn't even know him.
he played with us AAU too. And later, like from 15, 16 and back. Drew and Larry, they came out my Royal. We combined
Right.
with Mello's Choice or some shit like that.
Yeah.
And you got LaShawn Edwards. I don't know if you remember him.
No, I'm sorry. That was the dude you said before wasn't the person. It was the dude LaShawn Edwards that he was talking
Yeah,
about.
yeah,
Well, I
LaShawn Edwards.
don't know. I don't remember this. I don't remember cuz like that, yo.
LaShawn Edwards is ranked top 3 in the country, right?
That's what he said. I'm like, yo,
Yeah,
I don't remember, yo.
he didn't play. He didn't go to college. He just stopped playing ball. Calipari asked me personally about Cho in Vegas when we was like 14. He asked me like, is LaShawn track Calipari? I didn't know who Calipari was at the time. He was with Memphis. And he asked me, he was like, is LaShawn with y'all? I had on Team Mellow shorts. He asked me, was LaShawn with us? And I was like, yeah, that's my roommate. Yeah, that's how big he
no,
was.
I'm Sean Edwards. Now let me get some of that bread going out with some of these.
Right. No bullshit. No bullshit. Man, it was so many guys, man. It was, but I think at that time, man, Troy Franklin, when you talk about like who really like he had like a following, he was flashy, he was confident. You know what I'm saying? I think he had his peak early before high school. I remember I thought he was so good back in those days. I thought he was older, but he was my age. Yeah.
It's so crazy. The thing about Troy, right? And I put and this is no disrespect, obviously, because y'all both is beasts, but both of y'all is like the dudes that don't get talked about like that.
Yeah.
Like even with all of the shit that y'all did during our high school time, dog. I done seen y'all do whatever y'all did to whoever, like, and they would talk about all these other guys, but I would know that me and Troy's cool too.
Yeah, they never broke it down like this though. You feel what I'm saying? And then you had, like you said, you had to been there like this. Like you said, this is a conversation for high school. This not talking about high school, and you had to have a high school career too. But this be for high school. I remember battling with Chobe for high school. Like I don't have no stories of battling with the Omars or I had a couple battles. I think Larry we played against him a couple, but I don't remember battling with Omar wasn't playing. I was playing West Baltimore back then, so I remember. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I remember it was high school. I remember certain guys evolving and like blowing up and killing that shit. You feel what I'm saying? And
facts.
I was like, man, where these dudes come from? You know what I'm saying? And then that I wanted to compete with these dudes, but like I said, locally, I never really played in those tournaments, so we didn't really get those chances to really like bump heads with these guys in the summers.
That's hey. You gave more than a detailed answer for that one for sure. And my follow-up question that I always ask for that, because now I'm obviously going to transition to high school. I'm going to ask two questions. The first question is, what's the most memorable moment that you had? It's kind of the same question, so I'm gonna just bunch them in both. What was it? What was the point? Because like I asked you about the cream of the crop. Obviously, you just threw yourself in there as well, so you know who's who and what's what. But what was the game before high school or in one of the big tournaments that you was in that you just ripped somebody's head off? That was one of them that was supposed to be somebody. Who head you ripped off that made you go home and be like, yeah, Jamar, Deuce, I did that. I did that.
Well,
now I'm gonna tell you like this. I done had everybody that I done had on here ain't been shy about it. So and I'll tell the story all the time, like just so we can get it out. I had this dude in my neighborhood when I moved to Pasadena down the county. They said this dude was that. He said, "Man, you not coming down here doing nothing but that."
Right.
I came down there, I did that to him. So after I go home, I'm like, I'm good. You know what I'm saying? I'm straight. You feel me? But who was that for you? Who was somebody that you had on your bullseye that you couldn't wait to tear your ass up, and then you got him, and it was like, all right, I'm good. Before high school,
it was Troy, and I got his ass.
You got his ass
up Morgan. It was AAU. It was 13 under. It was AAU the championship game up Morgan. It was to go to AAU, like division.
So this is the states.
It was the states. That's what they call it. Yeah, the state championship. Yeah. I had like 34 on it's on camp at 13 though. Yeah, it was like 34.
You gonna say you gave a man 34, yo? That was that.
It was 34. It's on tape, bro. I got it's on tape. I got it on tape. That was the first time I ever cracked 30 in my life. It was at 13. I cracked 30. We won a game, and we wound up. I think it was a good game, bro. I don't think we blew them out. It was a good game. We knocked them off for the championship.
But that was one that you used.
I don't think I missed like 2 shots, bro. It was like
you circled it on the calendar. You knew it was coming.
I knew that was it because I told you prior to high school he was the
You just said it.
Prior to high school, he was the main thing. He was, and our age group at the time. You feel what I'm saying? He was the main. He was confident. He was tough as nails. In our class, I think he was the one that was beating the pack. And I think from that moment, you know what I'm saying, I surpassed, and I began to surpass him at that moment throughout high school and shit like that. We didn't really get to play again after that. He went to the B League.
I was ready to say because he went to
okay. He went to the B League. I was in it. I was in Gibbons in the A League. So I mean, he ripped the beat. He did what he was supposed to do, and so did I. But that was it. I think that was it. That was a great performance I had that day. That's crazy. I ain't never really get to tell these stories. So
but I'll be asking that because dog, like you gotta think, dog. We 30 years old. You feel me? Like so to kind of even. And I know, and it's not like me. I don't give a damn. If I just won a little summer league this past summer. They had me in the paper. I'm talking about at least 10, 12 years because I ain't got a lot. Somebody like you'll forget about certain things because you'll be so caught up in what you're doing that you don't really realize it. Like people is looking at this like, yo, this is really crazy. You know what I'm saying? Like this dude is really giving niggas the business, and I don't never had no problem showing that love. I've never had it. I've never been a hater. I've always been wanting to have these type of situations and tell these dudes that and kind of get your point of view of it, like because you would never talk about it. When I played against you back then, you ain't know who the hell I was. I would say this, I would say that, nigga. You would never say nothing. Like it wouldn't even say anything.
Right.
So I'd just be like, man, who is like what is up with this nigga, man? Like what's up with what is he? And he's killing, like he ain't got to do all that. But that's another story. But this kind of just speaks to the point of getting these little points to where as though like, yeah, I got him. And that kind of shit people don't know. That'll push you to the next level. So like you know what I mean? He goes to the B League, you go to the A League, you wind up doing what you do. But that never leaves your mind. Like that little piece of motivation did something to you that got you to another level. So that's why I always like to ask and see what moment it was for people.
For sure. You had to have that chip on your shoulder here. Being smart guards, man. Like you said, somebody can evolve overnight, and that's what happened. A lot of guards, and it's evolved overnight. A lot of people got better in high school. They got, you get stronger. You get the proper training you need, and sometimes it's just about that opportunity, or a coach or a program believing in you, and boom, there it is. You feel what I'm saying? And for some of us, it happened earlier than others. For some of us, it didn't happen at all. For some of it might happen late, and that's just how it goes.
Right. So now. And we're going to go to the high school segment. This is going to be my favorite part. I'm telling you right now. So we get, and the interesting thing, and like I told you before, with me coming from Anne Arundel County, I kind of got to watch this whole situation going on, and I kind of got to see it from afar and just see kind of the acclaim that was in Baltimore City and everything that was going on. When you guys play AAU in the city, it's a lot more different than us playing AAU, even if we come from the county or come from different places, because when your guys are playing AAU before high school, it's all for where you're going in the city.
Right.
So if you one of them big dogs, and you got a piece of order in your school, like if you ordered at all in school, you're going for one of these St. Joe's, Gibbons at the time, Catholic at the time, Francis at the time. You're going to one of these schools, and it's based off of what you're doing at AAU. Yeah. So what was the selection process for you? Was it a selection process? Did you have a different couple of schools to choose from, or what made you choose? Because you wound up going to Cardinal Gibbons. What made you choose Cardinal Gibbons?
I didn't. Cardinal Gibbons chose me. Then my mind chose Cardinal Gibbons. I definitely didn't choose Cardinal Gibbons, but I resented it. I hated it my first year up there. It was. I mean, just the experience was never bad. I never ever had a bad experience with Gibbons. I just didn't want to be there. I thought high school was the period of time, where you get to flirt with the girls, where you get to, dress, dress, you don't got a uniform. So it's like I'm coming to a boys' school.
And the
So I'm
girls
like,
down the street at Seton Keo?
yeah, but see that I'm gonna nip that in the bud, right? Because that's not a thing. Like that Gibbons and Seton Keo thing, that's not like everybody think like you just go down Seton Keo, the Seton Keo girls just come up. It didn't, man. Because it was like the girls that would come over to Gibbons, they was like weirdos, and then some of the guys that would run over to Seton Keo was weirdos. So like the the normal, it's like I ain't going over there because we thought all the girls was like dope, and they thought all the dudes was like dope. So it was just like
I'm gonna tell you. I'm gonna say it.
We never went over there.
I'm gonna say it for you. From the backgrounds that we coming from and how we moving and navigating them Seton Keo doors, not going. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's not ours. You know what I mean? And it's
and that's true though, because it was like I don't know if it was maybe a confidence thing, insecurity thing. Maybe we thought I'm a city. We from the, so I never thought like, man, I might not be good enough for these cuts. You know what I'm saying?
No, that's, bruh, I'm swear to God,
So,
like that literally was gonna be my next thing. Like when I asked you about the Gibbons experience, it was like, how was that going from, because you coming from Cherry Hill,
right?
You've been around some real shit,
right?
These people in these hallways ain't seen a quarter of what you've ever seen in the last 2-3 months, let alone your life.
Not even close.
How was that adjustment going there? I know you said you didn't want to be there, but how was it from that view? That stand?
For me, it was a 4-year adjustment. When I do get a chance to speak, I was my biggest adjustment was Gibbons, and my life was high school. I learned so much, man, even from, just being able to communicate with people, other people that just different people that, it just was, that was a hard, the learn the different social connections, the social structure, social values of how things go, what I'm saying, how to respect people. It just taught me a whole nother thing. And the discipline Gibbons taught me, to wake up and put on a shirt and tie and you know what I mean, slacks, and it wasn't like a St. Francis, no disrespect to people, but you can't just put on khakis and white tee and just some sneakers. Like we had to wear shoes, you know what I'm saying, a belt. Our shirt had to be tucked in 24. So like all of these was, you could be put in detention. I mean, they wasn't smacking out hands and shit like that, but it was very strict up there, and for real, it created, and then it's all boys, man. So it was a very competitive atmosphere, whether it was in the classroom, and who had the best. Everything was competitive. So that alone just created a whole nother dynamic. And if you didn't embrace it, which I wasn't doing, my first 2 years, I wasn't embracing it because I thought these dudes was corny. You know what I'm saying? I thought the school was corny. I never, man, I was doing dumb shit, man. Like we would have practice at 4 o'clock. We get out 2:45. I would try to run out Cherry Hill for 30 minutes, not having to ride back to school. It was dumb, man. It took me. It was a 4-year adjustment, but that was literally one of the best challenges that I think I've accepted throughout my life. I think I learned the most in those 4 years than I did in college, and so forth and so forth. You feel what I'm saying? I really didn't have to, because of Gibbons, I didn't have to adjust too much in college, or in my next career choice or whatever the case may be. So, and that's what I miss now. That is, it's gone. So it's like, man, I can't even give back what I got from the school.
Facts. We'll get to that too, because you moving up fast. You just a fast guard. You like to move fast. I understand that. You got to slow down. So, to kind of speak to, I mean, we've covered that aspect. That's kind of socially. Now, academically, was it tough? Now, I'm gonna just give a backstory real quick. My man KP, my homeboy Kerwin Porter, his first years of high school was at Cardinal Gibbons. I did an interview with him too, and he went in through Franz, who we're going to talk about in a second.
Mm-hmm.
So he wound up getting up out of there for it's kind of like the same reasons. You see what I'm saying? Like it was the adjustment. You know what I mean? So academically, what was the difference academically that was like so much of a change? Was it any for you? Was it a difficulty for you academically?
Fuck yeah, man. It was
When you first went.
Yeah, even just the schedule. And we had A through E day.
Yeah.
Like I'm used to, maybe two different, classes, maybe.
Yeah.
That may change. And that was what? That was gym, basically. Like, every day you may have went to like a different, what they call them?
Elective?
Elective. That was it, though. But you still went to your same, and probably you still go to your math, English, social stuff.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Your generic four.
When I got up Gibbons, we had 7 different days. Like, that you had to remember. You know what I mean? Basically, you had to memorize, because if you didn't have that sheet of paper, you wouldn't know where to go.
Yeah.
What time to go there. If you, it was just, academically, it was crazy, man. It was, I mean, and then, like I said, it was so competitive that you just never wanted to be at the bottom of the total pole, academically, and then getting. I was always coming from the city, so I didn't want them to look at me like I was dumb. You feel what I'm saying? So, or slower, or whatever the case may be. So I tried to work even harder. And I resented it at first because I just didn't want to be there.
Yeah.
I didn't want to be there. Also, I ain't give a fuck what nobody thought. It's like I don't even want to be here. But when I finally accepted that this, they was pouring in me. They wanted me to be successful, and I had to be successful in the classroom to be successful on the court.
Yeah.
And I learned that the hard way. I failed my first class of Gibbons in my life. I failed. I think it was math or something. I failed it, but it wasn't because I wasn't able to do the work. It's because, again, I didn't want to be there. It was part of like my little defense mechanism to show like fuck this school. You feel what I'm saying? And it hurt me because they took 3 games away from me. And had that been they took 3 games away from. I couldn't play for 3 games. Had that been another player, I would have been done for the rest of the year.
Easily.
Because they was pouring into me. And they knew I had some struggles. I came with some challenges myself, and I respect it. And I wish I could thank some of those coaches. Unfortunately, both of them died. But yeah, I always think about that. Gibbons poured a lot into me and helped me become who I am.
Now you talked about the 9th grade year and failing a class early. A little bit of that I can kind of like relate to in that sense, but and that kind of shit'll really shake a nigga up. Like if you missing 3 games, bruh, and you ain't never missed no games, bruh, it's like
right.
It'll really get you shake, rattle, and roll. Like, all right, I'm done. Yeah. I ain't messing around. Everything else that was on that boat, I'm not messing with that. I'm done.
Yeah.
So to speak to your point, like my 9th grade year, my mom led the resource room that was in my school, and I still was ineligible my 9th grade year.
Wow.
And in public in Anne Arundel County, they give you a 2-week grace period, and you can get your shit up.
Right. Okay.
So I did it. I was cool. I was in that joint doing my classes. I got my grades right on up. My mother comes in at the end and says, "No, you still not playing."
Dang.
So I missed my whole 9th grade year. I didn't play all 9th grade. And like I told you, we 14, 15 at the time. That's when I found AU basketball.
Okay.
So for me, that was like a blessing in disguise. And kind of for you, failing that class kind of was a blessing in disguise too.
Yeah.
So man, them moments is like, man, it's like you so like, man, I ain't worried about this and I ain't worried about that. Then it happened. It's just like, man, I got to get my shit together. You know what I'm saying? So to kind of speak to that point, go ahead. What you about to say? You about to say something?
It's like they took away my sword. Like that's the only thing I could fight.
Yeah.
they took it away, and it was like once they took my weapon away, I felt defenseless, and I wouldn't let that happen again. You feel what I'm
Yep.
saying? I wouldn't let that happen again.
Yeah, I was,
Yeah, I
man.
never felt that was hurt. That's embarrassing, man. Cause
Cuz
they don't say it.
embarrassing.
They don't say it. Be fair. I had a 69 at that time. I think failing was a 69. I think I had a 69 in the class. It wasn't like I did, but they don't know. When you say you failed, they think you got like a 30 in the class or something
Failing,
like that. Or
failing.
yeah, but failing is failing. So it ain't no lid you can put on that.
No, that's a fact, man. And you bounce back and you kind of learn from it. And like I said, so did I. I had a 3.5 that next quarter and the next quarter and the next
Right.
quarter. Like I was shook. I was like, man, if y'all gonna
For
be
sure.
doing this, I can't fuck with this. I got to play some bad. I got to do something. You know what I mean? I got to do it. But
Yeah.
so now you kind of get through that first low point, and the season comes,
Mm-hmm.
and you playing JV, right? Or
Yeah, so I don't know, it was 2 games. My first 2 games was varsity. And
your first two games with us.
so I started off in varsity versus Up Gibbons down the coach. I mean, it came out of nowhere. I was practicing with the JV team the
Yep.
entire time. The first day of our games, we went over to Catonsville to play. And they told me not to go with the JV team. I was like, man, what I do? Like, why I can't go? Because I never practiced with the varsity.
Yeah.
And the coach just like, no, you stay back. They showed me like 4 or 5 plays in a matter of 20 minutes. And I went on the varsity bus, and my first game was varsity of Catonsville. And I was like, what the fuck? Like, my mother, she thinking I missed the team bus. Because, this back when I don't even know if I had a
Yeah.
cell phone or I wasn't on a cell phone. So my family come to the JV game, and I ain't there. Say, like, where's Jamal at? Where's Jamal at? And then I come running up the tunnel with the varsity team. So, but I finished the year. My stepdad actually intervened with that. He wanted me to play. He wanted me
Right.
to be really splitting time, or you know what I mean? Because you could lose confidence. A lot of the guys back then think, oh, just being on varsity as a freshman was big, and it is. It's a huge accomplishment. And I do think you will get better. You do get better because you play against these seniors and
Yeah.
juniors or these guys. They
Yep.
they might not be talentedly better than you, but they stronger than you. They smarter than you at the time, and it's just the way it is. You gotta wait your turn.
Yep.
But I'm glad my stepdad jumped in and kind of got me back because I gained even more confidence by playing. No matter how much you look at, you're gonna gain more confidence by actually playing than just practicing against somebody. You know what I'm saying?
No, that's for sure. And
Yeah. So
the reason why I asked that is do you remember going to tryouts, or do you remember going to your first couple of practices and establishing who you were going to take out the
oh
way?
yeah, I couldn't wait. They had some dumps because in the Catholic school they had this dumbass shit that I never heard of called fresh soft. So it's like a freshman, sophomore. They had fresh soft, JV, and varsity.
Yeah. Because
Yeah,
and I'm gonna go. I'm gonna do a side story, and I know you're gonna know what I'm talking about. Little Dylan.
yeah, that was my man. Yeah,
It's 9 o'clock.
So little Dylan grew up in my neighborhood. I'm talking
right,
about, if I walked out my backyard, I could walk through a field and be in his backyard. So when he first
right,
was like, he was young, and Lord Chase was young,
right.
babe,
Yeah,
it was in my neighborhood. So he was telling me like, yeah, I play on this freshman team. I'm like, what the fuck you playing on freshman team for? You need to be playing on. He like, no, it's
yeah.
what you gotta do.
Right. So they had this. So the freshman and JV practice was the same, but the tryouts. I
Mm-hmm.
didn't have to try. I mean, you got to try out, but but I'm like, oh yeah,
Yeah.
I'm ready. Oh, I went nuts in there. Like, oh, I'm ready to
Yeah.
destroy. Because then I'm already my mentality is like these, Catholic school, these private school dudes. I'm ready to destroy these. You know what I'm saying? And like you said, I still carry that same humbleness that you spoke of early. Like I wasn't around the school. They didn't know who I was. They didn't know. You know what I'm saying? So it was like this was like one of my first opportunities to kind of separate myself. And so the frustration I had with the academics, the frustration I had with shit just being up Gibbons, I took it out in this tryout, this
Yeah.
freshman tryout. That I never even heard of a freshman team. Like I'm like freshman.
That's messed up, yo.
I ain't playing on no freshman team. You know what I'm
They
saying?
had
Like
nothing to do with that though. Why you had to do them like
they
yo?
didn't. But I like that definitely was towards the coaches or the
Yeah,
program.
yeah.
The guys never had the guys who I was playing against. They had nothing to do with it, and I
Nah, I
took
told you.
every. I don't even think I let them get the ball up court. Son.
Nah,
Like it was,
it's no point.
yeah, it was ugly.
I
It was
know what you
ugly.
mean, bro.
Yeah,
So
it was ugly.
I already, like I said, I kind of, the reason why like I asked them questions is because I obviously played, you know what I mean, even though if I wasn't at y'all level or the case may be, I just be thinking about this shit because I be having these little things in my mind, like it was a nigga that was in my spot. He wasn't even in my spot, but I'm just looking at him like, man, I know when I get to these situations, I'm gonna rip that head
Yeah,
off. It ain't even
right,
going. It's not gonna be no discussion about it. Period. So
right.
I mean, I kind of like to hear those stories to try to see where y'all came from, what motivation that y'all drew from to do that. You know what I mean? Sometimes it's a player, sometimes it could be a situation that you're going through, or whatever the case may be. But for you, it was just like somebody was always in the way, so you had to tear their ass
Yeah,
up. You feel me?
pretty.
So
So
ninth grade, you're playing on. You said it was not the freshman sophomore, but you played.
So I wound up finishing the season, JV. We won the Catholic League that year.
Yeah, that's what I'm gonna talk about right now. Hold on, I'm
Yeah.
gonna cut you off. Don't worry about it. I
Uh,
got you. I'm gonna ask you a
uh,
question real quick. This is something. So Alex Franz,
oh
which is
man.
somebody you played with,
Oh
um,
man.
he said. So this is a cool thing on Jamar. He said his freshman year was my sophomore year. We won the BCL JV championship, so we're excited about the next season, even with the league loaded. Then he says, well, that summer, Coach Flynn gets a head job at McDaniel and leaves Gibbons. So before I even go into the rest of this question and this quote that he's giving you so much love on, I want you to I don't want you to go too far because I know you can, but I want you to kind of talk about Coach Flynn and what he means to you in kind of that year. And I know I don't want you, like I said, man, I don't want you to go too far. I
Yeah.
just want you to, you know what I mean? If you want to, you can, but
Yeah, Coach, man, yeah, this that'd be a whole no. But I'm gonna make it short and sweet, man. Coach Flynn, I'm gonna share one story with you, yo,
yeah.
about Coach Flynn, man. Coach Flynn had this his persona was so strong. I don't know if a lot of people know he coached. Remember he coached the McDonald's All American game the year
What's the
before
best?
we with Sebastian Telfair through the wire. He was a coach coaching.
Sat down
But
with him at the end of the bench and said, "You know
sat
what,
down
man?
with
Boy, you something. You this, that, third." As soon as I seen it, I said, "Yo, that's
son.
Cuz."
So that right there, when he came, in my life, that right there was enough that I knew he can handle me. You feel what I'm
Yeah,
saying?
yep,
Watching that wild ass nigga Sebastian Telfair, and and he was excited about that. Like, you know what I'm saying?
yeah,
They was happy to be around him. I knew he can handle me. I knew he can handle a player like me where I come from and what I've been through. When I met him, man, it was a match. Like I didn't visit no other private schools. I didn't juggle it. I didn't play with. I'm coming. You feel what I'm saying? He did
yeah.
some shit to get me in Gibbons that I don't think he was supposed to, but I ain't going. You know what I mean? He helped me get in there. When I say that, nothing really. I just think they was past like the acceptance period, and he went in there, and I got accepted. You
Made it
feel what I'm
happen.
saying? And he was important to my growth as a high school player, as a player period. But at that time, he poured so much confidence in me that was the first coach at that time who was about me. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, Mount Royal, it was so many people, so many good players
Yeah,
for that program to pour into. So
facts.
Gibbons finally felt like mine. It felt like me. You feel what I'm saying? Like this is for me, and that helped me get through those long days of being struggling academically, struggling socially. It's because I knew at the end of the day I can go, chill for 2 or 3 hours and be coached by Coach Flint. You feel what I'm saying? He
Yep.
made it fun for me, and that's all it was, man. He helped my dynamics at Gibbons because I was excited to get out of school and go to practice. I was excited to come to school to go to practice because of
Facts.
him. And at
Facts.
that time, wasn't no white men doing that. You know what I'm saying? Wasn't no
Now,
white.
that's the number one thing. I don't want to cut you off, but I want to let y'all know this is a white man we talking about here.
Yeah, a
It was
white man.
different. It was different with him though.
Yeah, you feel what I'm saying? And
Different.
he had it, man. He had it, man. That was my guy. We was
Yeah.
actually. I'm gonna tell you the story. I know you're gonna chop it up and all, but I'm gonna tell you the story. We was losing the championship game by 27 points.
I got it right here in my notes.
We was losing at halftime. We was losing by 20. I don't know what the fuck happened. Spalding came out. They jumped on our ass. We beat Spalding twice, but they say it's hard to beat a team 3 times. The
Yeah.
second, third. They jumped on our ass. So we walked in at halftime down 25, 27 points. The coach came in that bit out. The head coach was another dude. Was Coach Neil Jones, who was also a great influence in my life. But I'll talk about him later.
No, I'm gonna get to it right after this. So go ahead.
Yeah, he came in there. He just was looking a little. I mean, who the fuck know what to say? You down with 25 in a championship game, in a high school game. High school. We ain't had that much time back then. 8 minute
It's 16
quarters.
minutes left in this game.
Yeah, 16 minutes left in the game. You feel what I'm saying? So, man, Flynn walked in there. He's a varsity coach. Never ever been in doing out in our locker room during the game. They not playing. They got knocked out. So he came in there and started smiling. Like, just looked at us like, we good.
Down 25.
Down with 20, said, we good. So, we came out, won the game by like 11 points. It was some, one of our other players struggled. He had 0 points. So, man, Alex, man, that white boy there.
Huh.
Alex was a bad motherfucker, y'all.
Boy, that
was
boy,
bad, yo.
Boy.
He was a bad boy, yo. He was bad, yo. I never felt. I mean, when you really look at it, honestly, when you talk about duos in the league, when I'm talking about like 2 point
Talk
guards,
about it.
I don't really see. I mean, you had MTC just had Malcolm. I'm talking about duos. They had Malcolm, and that was. I mean, Larry. I don't think he really. I think Alex was tough. I think he trumped Larry. You know what I'm saying? Obviously, Malcolm Trump at that time. Both of us. I mean, he was a big time player, but both of us together, Trump. You know what I'm saying? So it was like I don't really see too much. Desmond, he had. I don't know who was his other guard. I think we trumped them. Kevin Hardy had Russell. We trumped them. I don't know. I think we was a tough ass backcourt, at least top two, and that
No,
BCL for
I would have to agree with that. I would have to agree with
for
that.
3 years though.
Yeah,
For three strong years.
I would have to agree with that because, like, he goes on. Like I said, I didn't read the whole quote, but he goes on to talk about more, which I'm not even gonna. I'm gonna get into it, but I'm not gonna get into a lot of that stuff because it's a lot of with Coach Flynn.
Right.
But he goes on to talk about how Coach Jones ultimately is the person that after you guys won the championship that year, you guys won the championship that year, and I think you guys wound up like you said, you came back in that game, but you guys wound up having the exodus of Coach Flynn, and you all are losing players.
Everybody transferred.
Everybody transferred.
Except me and Alex. Me, Alex, and like two other guys. I think Ryan Zepp stayed, Jimmy stayed. Everybody else left.
So
We had literally 4 returners.
yeah, that's exactly what he says right here. So he says Coach Neil Jones, who is basically like a second father to us, convinces Jamar to come back because otherwise you were going to St. Francis.
Yeah. Or,
Oh my God! Yeah, see, that. You know,
yeah, I was
that's
about
the
to
stuff
go.
that I don't like about that city connection right there because you could be in a situation y'all get the squad with. You know what? I'm gonna go to St. Francis. This is me over there. We got Wayne over there. It's a
Well, honestly, that's not true. It's true. Everybody just knew I was going to go to St. Francis. I mean, my entire program was at basically St. Francis. The core
right,
of my program, and I was one of the core guys,
right.
was at St. Francis. Sean Mosley, Eric Brooks, Desmond Thomas. I mean, they was all there. These core guys. These are guys that I remember. Like I said, when I was 10 years old, we was all at my rook. You feel what I'm saying? So at that time, everybody just thought, man. But honestly, man, it was my family knew about it. I don't know how many other people, but it that wasn't the school I think I was going to land at though. I think I was going to eventually land at. It was if I would have left, it was school Georgetown Prep.
Oh, he's gonna go to GT Prep.
Yeah, GT Prep was out. They came out the blue, and they was fighting hard. They was actually fighting hard up until my senior year. They wanted me to
Yo,
transfer.
that's so funny that you say that, yo, because like you said, they popped out. Bro, they came
Yeah,
when they came out the shoot, like they just came and was trying to get everybody. Like
yeah, yeah,
I seen a lot of dudes, like because I used to go to DC a lot. I didn't play a lot in Baltimore, but in my junior and senior year, I was in DC a lot.
yeah,
So
yeah.
a lot of them dudes was like going up Georgetown Prep and going to Kema Institute and all that.
Yeah,
Like
yeah, all that
they
type
were,
of shit. Yeah,
so I'm like, yo, what the like Georgetown? Y'all got something going on up there. So that's crazy to hear.
yeah,
That would be crazy though.
yeah. That was, but everybody just knew I was going to land. It was, it was natural for people to think I was just going to go to St. Francis, and I was open to it. But like I
Yeah,
said, Gibbons, what Flynn did for me, and with Neil Jones, they made Gibbons feel like it was my home. It was, you know what I'm saying? I felt like I had my own base. So
yep.
and I just didn't understand leaving. It didn't register to me because I didn't even know these niggas was leaving. Because you gotta think, like I said, I'm a city. So in the summer, I was in the hood. You know what I'm saying? I'm not worried about what they do. I ain't calling no. I see y'all
Nah,
next school year. You feel what I'm saying? We know the summer was big at that point for us in
that's a
high
fact.
school.
That's a
Yeah,
fact,
so
bro.
it was.
Especially them that freshman and that sophomore drink because we was trying to get acquainted with the who's and what's. We cool.
Yeah.
You feel me? Yeah, for sure, for sure.
So it's like I wasn't even. It ain't really hit me until like the next. It was like we practicing the next year. It's like we got a cross player, a football player. We had 8 people on the team. It's like wait. Like dudes, they gunning for us. We just won the JV championship, so it's only you know it's natural that people gunning. They remember what we just did as freshmen. Now we coming
Facts.
up with where the competition is even thicker, and
Yep.
we only got 4 returners. Yeah, I think what I think I don't even know. I think both of them might have been coming off the bench.
No, that's another point that he made. He said, and this is real shit. He said, to go past and this is in your sophomore season.
Yeah, myself. Yeah,
So your sophomore season, something tragic happens to you with Coach Jones,
yeah. He got murdered. Yeah,
and that's very unfortunate because not only that, like I said, he didn't say that it was just a father figure for you; it was for both of you guys.
yeah.
So
Hell yeah. He
for a
took me
white dude
home
to
every
say
day.
that,
Yeah,
like
yeah. He was.
outside of their family, it's different.
Yeah, he was a player's coach, man, and they like I said, man, that coaching staff, it was special at that time because
Yeah,
you had a guy like Flint who had the energy, the persona, and you had Jones who had the same thing, but he can actually get out that bit. I mean,
yeah,
Yo can still play like
yeah.
at a high level. I'm talking about Yo would get out there, play with it sometimes, and particularly, I think it was honestly for me because I would get moments, like I said, even in practice, it was basically like me and Alex had to play against each other because we had guys that shouldn't even been playing.
At all.
So just imagine our practices. If me and Alex on the same team, we wouldn't get better
Yeah.
playing against a football player, lacrosse player, we had all types of dudes that just we had to fill these spots because dudes left.
Yeah.
You feel what I'm saying? So, and I think he should get out there and kind of challenge me and Alex. You feel what
Yeah.
I'm saying?
Yeah.
Well, that was his motive before he was, killed. Like, we was gonna have to do a lot, and I think we was pretty prepared for it. But hey, it's the Baltimore Cavalry, man. We got our heads, and they got, man. I think we was one of the worst teams that year. We wasn't in last place, but we was definitely at the bottom. My sophomore year.
But see, with that, you guys start the season 8-1, and you had only lost to the Matha at that point. You're leading the league.
Yeah.
You're leading the team in every category, and neither one of y'all are starting. Like I'm not talking about the sophomore year. Like I'm talking about going into this season. So you're leading them in everything.
Yeah.
And you're not starting. Then y'all go to the situation where y'all don't really got anything, and y'all challenging both of each other, right?
Right.
So you go into this season in your sophomore year. Is it any like, is it any inclination to you at this point about college? Are you thinking about college or
Nope. Not at all.
not at all?
Nope. And that's another story too as itself. Even how Gibbons came about, like I wasn't thinking about private school. It happened, and it was the same. It was the same thing with college. It was just like, oh shit, like I'm about to go to a private school, and it was like, oh shit, I'm good enough to go to college. You feel what I'm saying?
Right.
It was never like I was in there like working on my and part. But I get to that later. Because I know we gonna transition.
No, yeah. See now you see,
Yeah.
there it is. Now you got it. Now you slowing yourself down and you got the pace. But to kind of speak on that point, man, 10th grade, you're kind of like I said, you guys are out there and me knowing Franz and how he is, and you being with him is kind of like y'all is out there going for broke every single game. Like y'all don't care about, you know what I mean? What you playing with and all of that kind of stuff.
We grew up fast. We grew up fast. We grew up fast in that league as players. We got beat on fast. I mean, we grew up pretty. Man, Ham grew up very fast in that league, and it paid off. It paid off because when it was our turn, they gave it back. We gave it back, and yeah, we was confident about it. We knew he knew I was gonna have his back. I knew he had my back, and it was just that. It started. We didn't care who. We stopped caring about what we didn't have. Who we didn't have, and we learned how to play and get the best out of what we did have, who we had. You feel what I'm saying? And it did, and he did a great job, man. He let us. He did a great job of leading us. I did a great job of leading us when it was my turn to speak up. And the guys we had, man, they followed, and they knew. You know what I'm saying? So, like I said, it was a great experience, man. I learned a lot, man, with Gibbons, a lot.
Yeah, man, for sure. And like I said, I don't want to harp on it, even though it's my favorite part, because this is kind of when I kind of met you and started seeing your game. But this junior year, right? So junior year, I think it's Franz's senior year.
Yeah.
And
I mentioned with that terrible season, we made All-American. We was I think honorable mention.
Yeah, yeah.
I think we both made we both made.
I didn't mean to put it like that. I'm sorry. I had it written down right here, and I didn't even say it. But both of y'all was honorable mention.
Yeah, that year.
So now you're coming into this junior year, and I think my homeboy Perry is here at this point.
At Gibbons, Perry,
yeah.
Right?
Perry, right?
Perry. He was there the entire time. Perry came in together, but he
But I'm talking about when he got there, as far as him actually being there, and him actually getting a lot more time, and him actually being a piece.
Yeah, he was a piece. Probably was definitely.
And the reason why I say this is because, like I said, this is when my best friend is my man AJ. One of my best friends, AJ. His homeboy is close homeboy is Perry. So our 11th grade year, he's like, yo, if we ever played, because I was at Chesapeake, he like, if we ever played y'all, we'll beat y'all by 1,000 points. I'm like, man, I ain't trying to hear that shit, man. What y'all got going on up there that y'all so special? Y'all beating us by 1,000. Like, man, I'm telling you right now. Like, first of all, we got me, and you know how Perry is.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Probably was hella.
Yeah. So, but he like, no, the first person he ever said to me, this is God honest truth. The first person he ever said to me, he was like, "Our point guard, Queen." He was like, "I love you, but Jamar will destroy you." I said, who the fuck is Jamar, and how the fuck you think he just destroyed me?
Destroy me, right?
I said, he like Queen. I'm telling you, he's that. He do that. I said, all right, bet. Right. So, lo and behold, this is like our 11th grade year, and like I said, I'm close with Perry. We following each other throughout the season. I'm playing for Chesapeake. Right. We went 1-21, and we won the last game of the season against a team that didn't win all year. So I'm talking to him all the time, and he telling me what's y'all. And he like, yeah, you know, we doing this, we doing that. He's like, yo, my man. He like, I'm telling you, Queen, this nigga Jamar is that.
Right.
So I'm like, I gotta figure out what's going on with this nigga Jamar. You feel me?
Yeah.
I go to y'all
come see it for yourself.
Yeah, I had to go see it for myself. I had to go see what was going on.
Right.
I go see y'all play Spalding, right? Y'all go play Spalding, and it was at Spalding. Now, we a little grown now, so we got a little healthy weight on us. At this time, bro, we twigs. We like,
literally,
you probably about 5'8", 5'9".
Right, maybe
like 30, right? 40.
Yeah, some shit like that. Yeah.
And I have never seen a little. And I tell people this. I told my man this that night. My man KP. I said, yo, this nigga is like Zeke Thomas, yo. Like, little nigga, like who do what? I think you had 30. I think you had 30 something that night. Not even that night. I'm gonna tell you the God honest truth. I was dating a white girl at the time, and she went to the school, but I got in off the free off that, and I went and seen this shit. So you had about 30 something, and I'm like, yo, that wasn't no hard 30. He ain't said nothing to nobody. Right. I ain't got no chance with this.
Right. Yeah, it wasn't like one of those. Like, yeah, I know what you mean. Like one of them tough 30s, the competition.
Yeah, it was like it was 30, and I'm like, yo, this dude is real deal, dog. Like, and I'm like, you know what I'm saying? Like, this is some real. This is the real deal. Like, that was my first goal. That was my first time seeing you extensively. Like, and I might have seen you even before that, but it's like when I really sat and watched, I'm like, yo, this dude is the real deal, man. Right. So I wanted to ask you, was 11th grade? Was that when you kind of knew?
Yeah, that's when I knew. I had my confidence was in me at that point.
Yeah.
At that point, I was confident in my game. I was confident in, like, it was almost like I was anxious to step across those lines.
Yeah.
I always still, you still get the butterflies, but it was more so like, yeah, I'm ready to, I'm going to hit you before you hit me. You know what I'm saying? It's pretty much the same mentality. Do work, get work. I carried that, man. That was crazy you posted that, because that was built in me early, and I live by it and I die by it. You know what I'm saying?
I'm gonna say that again for people that didn't hear that. The man's quote, and I don't care, y'all can't take it. He's gonna copyright it. We're gonna get everything situated tonight. It's either you do work or you get work.
Yes, sir. And I live by that, man.
Man, I said, God damn, that nigga always lived by that.
Yeah, and it was instilled in me early, and that was it. And by my junior year, though, it was like bring it on, and and I was ready. And I'm gonna tell you, one of my senseis, I just told him this recently. I told him this a couple months ago. Was Desmond Thomas. That was like, I came up under. I told you about my first tryout ever was underneath
Yeah.
him, and he
Yep.
killed me. And that was one of my only like, I never really got a chance to really like get back at him, or defend that moment until my junior
Yeah.
year. It was my ball, it was his ball. You feel what I'm saying? He was the starting point guard. That same friend. He was a senior. I was a junior, and it went up, man. And we got it on, and I think I had about 20 something, 29, close to 30, some shit like that, and I think we lost by one when they were supposed, they was a strong program. They were supposed to
For
kill us.
sure.
Yeah, and man, we battled with those guys, man, each and every year, my junior year and after. And I think, but that game with Desmond up Gibbons, I think I had about 29, and but that was like I'm here, like
Yeah.
you know what I'm saying, like I'm
And
here.
like I
I
said,
ain't,
man,
I ain't going there.
I definitely know, and even as minuscule to a degree, it's like I know that feeling. It's like you know when you're there.
Yeah,
You know what
yeah,
I'm
I'm
saying.
here.
You know
And
when you just
when I got past him, it was like I ain't see no, you know what I'm saying?
yeah,
Like
and that's all it'll
whoever
take.
else, yeah. Once I climbed up, and I was like, yeah, whoever else, y'all in trouble. You feel what I'm saying? Like, cause I don't have no respect for nobody else. You feel what I'm saying?
Yeah,
Like, I had a man a mountain of respect for him, and some other guys that I came in the program with. But for me, Desmond was my. It was like other guys. I'm going at y'all neck like disrespectfully. You feel what I'm saying? But
with
humbly
all due
disrespect.
respect,
With all due respect.
I
You
got
feel what
to
I'm
come
saying?
get you. That's
Yeah, I
just that,
got to come get you. I got to
man.
come get
It's like I say, man, and I don't even know if that was because when I really, like I said, I might have seen you play before that, bro. Like I could have been around it in a tournament or something like that, or seen something. But that was the first time I sat in the benches in the bleachers and watched you really play the
you.
game. And I said,
Mm-hmm.
yo, this dude is not even trying. And it's not even like at the time. It's like, first of all, the BCL and Spalding is what it is. The BCLA is what it is as a total. So it's not like this team was a total scrub.
Right. Yeah.
I didn't just see this game. I obviously went on to watch more games, but that game right there, I was like, yo, this dude is not even trying, and he's got 30 points. This is
Right.
easy. It
Right.
ain't been a word said. It's not, and nothing looked forced. And like I said, also the reason why I was there also is because Dylan was on the freshman team. Remember, I just
Right.
told you that
Yeah.
story.
Yeah. Yeah.
So Dylan
Yeah.
played the game after, or it might have been before y'all.
Yeah.
I don't remember if it was before or after. Dylan had 32 by the third quarter.
Yeah. Yeah. Dylan was ripping. That's where I was like, hold up, man. What is it? What is
Man,
he doing with
he
it?
was ridiculous.
Yeah. Yeah. He was cooking, man.
But at the same time, we're not going to describe it. And Dylan, you know I love you to the 10th degree. You was a hawk. You didn't pass the ball. So if
Oh
niggas
yeah.
didn't pass the ball like you didn't, we would have had 30 something. Boy, you
Yeah.
didn't pass that joint.
That's all he sang was the rim.
I don't blame him. He came up
That's
with me.
all he sang.
I told him we don't have. What was the button on? What was the button on live and on 2K back then? We don't have X buttons. We only got squares.
Oh,
That's it.
dang.
That's it. We don't got X buttons. We shoot that thing. That's
Yeah.
it. They don't show up for passes. They show up for these buckets.
Right. Yeah.
But like I said, man, and this is all jokes aside, bro. Like once I saw that from that point on, man, I really understood. Not only could you be a showman, you really could play the game. Like
Right.
you could shoot. If you had to shoot the three, you would shoot the three. You'll burn a nigga up mid range. And God forbid if y'all start pick and rolling. Like
Right.
those,
Yeah.
it was things like that I kind of noticed very early. Even though I played in the same class, it's like I wasn't ashamed to say that. Like these dudes is on a certain level, bro. Like he's
Right.
really there. He's tapped into that where I'm trying to get to.
Right.
So I noticed that. Now we get to this senior year. Franz is gone, and I know I brought him up each time, but it's like people that don't understand. That's a presence that's around.
Yeah.
If he's around you, that's a presence that's there. So he's not there now.
Oh
Senior
man,
year,
man. So my senior year, Franz is gone. So
yeah,
mind you, first of all, Franz and his family
Yes.
was also I and I hope he watched this, but friends and his family, his mom, God rest her soul, his dad, man, they embraced me too, and was a big part. I mean, his mom
That's
literally
what's up, yo.
she literally tutored me after I failed that class. I'm talking about she would come get me after school, take me to like I sometimes I would ride with him, sometimes she'd come get me. Like he might go do
Yeah.
his I'm in
Yeah.
fucking tutoring with his mom while he out just chilling or some bullshit. Like I'm tutoring, like yo, she helped me. I mean, man, she
I
tutored me,
already
bro.
know,
His
bro.
mom, and
The story is too long for you to tell,
yeah,
bro.
it is. And
I know.
I had to tell him that we had to talk about that personally. But
Yeah.
man,
Yep.
his family was huge, man. It was huge to my success in high school and further on. And but yeah, my senior year was so now you talking about my junior year. Now you talking about I had the exposure I always had. Well, coming up, I was getting exposure, getting a lot of exposure. But now letters, college influence,
Yeah.
where I want to go, what I want to do. Now, college is directly on my senior year. You know what I'm saying? Like, where can I possibly end up? Like, I got a chance to go to college. You feel what I'm saying? And at the time, man, it was so overwhelming. I didn't even. Now you coming back to the immaturity or just not knowing about the
Not
process,
knowing.
right?
It's
Not knowing
different.
about
Not
the
knowing is
process.
different. Yep.
So, um, my family, we did as much as we possibly could, or what we thought we was doing right. But we kind of put all our faith into Gibbons, which now we got a new coach who didn't build this personal relationship with me or any of the other teammates or my other teammates. So, he just coaching Gibbons. He come from Virginia. He don't know no tradition of the school. You feel what I'm saying? He
He's
don't
not
know
from
about this. Yeah,
Yeah.
he don't even know the tradition of Baltimore basketball. You got so it was just like he ain't really. It's his first couple years, so he don't give a fuck basically. You
Right.
feel what I'm saying? And that's kind of the mold. Or that's kind of the air he was given. It was like he coaching and that was it. Like he wasn't taking nobody home. You know what I mean? Checking on it. We didn't get that from him. At least I didn't. I did wind up earning his respect. Through my play, but I just felt like our relationship should have been a lot better. You feel what I'm saying than what it is. Like I mean, I don't even know where he at. I don't follow him on Facebook, no shit like that. Like you
That's
feel
just
what I'm
not.
saying?
That's
So
not. That's not good. That's never going to be a good situation because
yeah,
if you're the one that's at the forefront of everything and you're the one that's, I mean, kind of putting your blood, sweat, and tears into everything, and even with the transition, you got to kind of be the connecting piece. And if
right.
you're not going to be able to have that connection with the new guy that's coming, it's always going to be a recipe for
Right.
disaster.
You feel what I'm saying? So that was a whole nother dynamic or competitive or just a problem, a challenge that we had. The players versus coaches, we wasn't feeling them. Now we seniors. Now the same core that we had as sophomores are still here and we seniors. So we all matured together. You feel what I'm
Facts.
saying? We all gotten better together. Obviously, it's levels, but we still gotten better together. And we really honestly thought we was gonna make a run for the league
Yeah.
with us having the same core for 3 years, I don't understand how you don't build around, especially already having your point guard, your shooting guard. You know what I mean? It should be easy
Yeah.
to build around that.
Yep.
And they just didn't, and it just was. We just didn't have it. It was unbelievable, man. And we did get some good players who had to play out of position. Maurice Ryers, Xavier, I forgot Xavier, like Perry Wright. Shit, Perry was playing. He had gotten better. Shit, by just playing against me or being around, playing against Alex. You feel what I'm saying? So, but
I
he
seen
couldn't even.
Perry. I seen Perry playing the four for y'all at one point. I
Come
said, "Yo,
on, man. Perry could have been easily at worst. I mean, a Division II starting two guard. You know what I mean? Like he
you
he
supposed
was
to
battling
generally."
with some of the
Yep.
yeah. He was battling with some of the toughest players that
Yep.
went and played at Division 1. Like how? You know what I'm saying? This man ended up he had a good career, but I'm just saying, like he
No,
had
for
the
sure.
game.
No. I definitely know what you mean because, man, me and him talk all the time. But it's just like me knowing him. First of all, look at his size and the way he played. It's like that shouldn't have been your
That shouldn't
ordeal.
have happened.
Shouldn't have.
And I shouldn't have ended up at North Carolina Central, which was a great experience for me, and man, sent me through the roof. You feel what I'm saying? But I shouldn't have ended up there out
Yeah,
of
no,
high school.
totally
Not
get
with
you.
the campaign that I put on for 3 years. Not with the campaign I put on for high school and summer ball. You know what I'm saying? It was no reason for me to
No,
end
for
up there.
sure.
You feel what I'm saying?
For sure.
But I did, and you know, no complaints. My senior year, I was runner up player of the year. I
Yep.
think Mosley and Henry has split, but I joke with them guys, both of them. I know I outplayed both of them my senior year.
No.
But they
No.
was
I'm gonna tell
they
you
were
like this, and I'm gonna tell you straight up to your face, and I will tell Mosey when I have him on there, here next week.
right
The reason why them niggas got that shit is
because they was
because
going to
of what?
big Division One. He was going to
Thank
Georgetown. He was going to Maryland. But
But
I
them niggas
definitely had
know,
a better
they
senior
know,
campaign with him.
and I'm gonna tell you, Henry will probably be like, yeah, you know what, Jabal, you know what I'm saying, whatever.
Yeah.
Sean is not gonna give it up. I know he's not gonna give it up,
Hey,
but I'm gonna tell Sean, I'm like, Sean, I see no
hey, look, Slim, we split. We split our senior year.
I seen it. I
We split.
read it. I read it. Trust me.
Like we split our senior year. I had the better game. Like and to his, he was like an all around player, so he had to do a lot more. He was because he had a young team his senior year. He did have a young team.
Yep.
I think RJ or some shit was starting at the point guard. Like I was just saying, they was like sophomores or some shit, if not freshmen. So of course I didn't. They wasn't at my level at the time. So I was, it was my time. So I
Yep.
really ain't had no challenges. And then he was killing us Catholic League for 3-4 years. So of course he had a lot of attention was already on him. You feel what I'm
Yeah.
saying? So that senior year was a little bit harder than he was already signed. So you know what I'm saying? He kind of coasted in his defense. I didn't though. You feel what I'm saying? I wasn't coasting. I was still on the tidal wave. So it was like, yeah, and I wanted to really beat these guys, man. And Henry defensively, they might have been coasting a little bit more than I would, or a little bit more, but I was definitely gunning for them dudes, man. And I really wanted to knock them dudes off. And we had some battles with Henry that year. We took them a trip overtime. They had a nasty ranked team, like you know what I'm saying. So
Hey,
it's
bro.
like,
Man, that team, their senior year team with Justin, Eric, him, and I can't remember the other dude. They had another guy. I can't remember his name right now. But I transferred to Long Reach my senior year.
right.
And a couple of them guys is from out there.
From Columbia, yeah. All the
Eric,
dudes I think was from
all three of them.
Yeah.
So I went out there. I'm from down my spot. So as far as the county's concerned, I'll be around Kurt, like you from Cherry Hill. I'll be around Curtis Bay. Brother lived in Cherry. I'm from down there. You see what I'm saying?
Right. Yeah.
So when I come up there to kind of speak to kind of that class separation and shit, whatever the case may be, when we play them, my whole team know who they are.
Right. Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I don't know no damn Eric. I don't know Justin. I don't give a damn about Henry. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I'm coming up there. I'm like, man, we ready to do this to these niggas. Mount St. Joe, I don't care, whatever, right? First half, we play these dudes. We beating them by 8 points. And the scrimmages in the beginning, they erase the points at the every quarter, but I'm keeping track. We up 8.
Yeah. Right, yeah. We all niggas always keeping track.
Bro,
I got like
dog. 10. I'm talking about halftime come around. The first pass I threw out the half was to Eric.
On the opposite team.
On the opposite team. The second pass I threw was to Eric again. And then the third play, they came down, gave that bitch to Henry. He went baseline and went up and reverse banging joint. We called timeout. We never recovered. I said, man, they don't win. You see what I'm saying? Like, and then
they was pros, man. They was
like
pros.
you
Them
said,
guys was
like
pros.
the rest of the year they went on and did their thing.
They was pros, man.
Man, so I'm like, man, this is crazy. But like I say, I've seen you in a couple of games. I've seen that Spalding game. Then the next time I seen the game that you played was the next time that you played them, which was I think it was your first time. You played them twice your senior year.
Yeah, we always play. Every team played twice, home and away.
I don't think I went to the second one, but I feel like y'all didn't play them in the playoffs, did you?
Not my senior year, nope.
Okay, so I might be skipping one.
So you came to the senior game at Gibbons.
At Gibbons.
Oh my God. Yeah, that was. They said I missed one shot or two shots from shit that game.
I said, how am I gonna get to school, yo?
Yeah, that was, and you know, man, Justin is like this. So,
but see, I don't know that. You see, I don't know.
Justin actually played. He came to Mount Royal around like 13. So he was on that team when we won it. And I told you when we beat the States and all that. So Justin was on a couple of Howard County dudes. Him, I don't know if you probably Warren, Brandon, Sal, all them dudes is from Howard County. So we had like 4 or 5 dudes that just came. They was big as shit. Justin was big as shit. He was like 6. He was a big guard at 13. He was dunking and shit at 13.
He is at 13.
At 13 that he is right now. He was dunking a bit. So he was tough as nails, man.
Yes.
Like I thought Justin was like at that. I'm telling you, I thought Justin was one of the best, but he was playing with me. So the competition really wasn't there.
No,
and I had to really compete really too hard against Justin. It was always, and that was it was cool. So this our senior year. So he finally I think like because it was kind of lopsided as far as the matchup 1-on-1 because I told you he had a team. He couldn't really get, he was his game. He wasn't as free as I was of Gibbons to fill that joint up like that. And,
right.
So this senior year, he had a little bit more confidence, you know, his senior year, and he had a little bit more freedom. Man, so I thought, you know, I come with the mentality like, oh yeah, we gonna get it on. And man, I don't know, man. It wasn't for Justin though. That game wasn't
ain't had nothing to do with him.
It ain't had nothing to do with Justin though, man.
Bro, that was that game right there, bro. It's like, do I gotta start drinking Kool-Aid or what is it?
That shit. I remember that shit. Yeah.
What's going on up there?
So
if you can remember, what is it about? Like, I know you just spoke on it just now, but like, what is it that can kind of, because not only that game, I'm gonna talk about your college in a second. But what is it about them zones that kind of get you in that zone? And once you're there, what's that mindset? What gets you through that?
I mean, you prepare. You think? I mean, you prepare. You know, for these moments and them late nights in them gyms, man. Like I said, Gibbons they gave me that opportunity to I had access to a gym. I had, you know, I always could get a ball, and I took advantage of that shit. It became my safe place. Like I said early on, I said I was running out Tri Hill after school. Shit,
Man.
it was now. Shit, my mother was coming to get me, or somebody was coming to pick me up at Gibbons at 9:00 at night.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying. My senior year, I was working out at 6 a.m. before school, practicing, still staying till 7, 8 o'clock at night. So it was just like a switch had kicked on. You know, college was around the corner. I knew I was small, so it was like I gotta be special at something. And like I said, that senior year was just personal. It was like it was me versus me, and I really didn't see too much who was in front of me, and it was like I was on a mission, man. And you know, some of my closest friends, they was going to college. So it was like, shit, y'all ain't leaving me behind. You feel what I'm saying?
No.
I ain't putting all this work to not go to school. You know what I'm saying? So that pressure kicked in on me, and it was like, and then you know, some of these guys were signed. I felt like I was better than, or I was just as good as. So it was like, how the fuck you know what I'm saying? So I was like,
nah, you was better than man. You was better than the nigga. Yeah,
So it became personal, and then the work was there. I just had to show it. I put the work
Yeah.
in. I just had to show
Yep.
up, and I had kind of that light to show up. That I had the space to show up. My teammates gave me the floor, and I took it, and gave it. I gave them hell, man. I gave them hell that same year, man. I gave them hell.
Yes, you did, brother. And I don't. I'm telling you, man.
Yeah,
Did you wind up playing in the Rock League going into your senior year?
yeah. We played. We played in the Rock League. Fuck this. We beat the Math in the Rock League. My junior year going into my senior.
So now I'm gonna
Yeah.
ask you this. So, and the reason why I asked you because I already knew the answer. So Perry, like I told you, is my homeboy. Haven't played against Perry ever. I've never been in the BCL. I've always played in my certain situations. But like I told you, I went to Long Reach my senior year.
Right.
Do you remember playing us?
No.
I know you don't. You know why?
Why?
Because you wasn't there.
Oh, yeah. I was gonna say.
Hey, come on. Hey, yo, hey, listen, and I'm gonna tell you, this is God honest truth, yo. Me and Perry argue about this shit for weeks. Now we play y'all, bust y'all shit. I'm telling you right now, whatever, right? The whole time in my mind, I'm like, bro, if Jamar is there, I'm gonna have. It ain't got nothing to do with Perry. I'm gonna have to deal with something that's a little different.
Right.
Coming into this game, dog, like you said, all the motivation you had, which was the games you done had, the ones when you done got over your peak, the ones when you done looking at niggas like I'm gonna get this nigga. Yeah. Coming into that night before that game, and it's summer league joint. I said, man, I'm telling you right now, when I see this nigga tomorrow,
I'm glad I ain't show up. Then see,
I said, I'm gonna finally get my piece. I'm gonna get this nigga, right? I know I'm gonna tear this nigga. Bro, we get to the game. I'm looking all over the gym. I'm like, man, where the fuck is this nigga? I know he here somewhere. Where is he at? I'm talking, me and Perry talking the whole time and shit. Perry ain't saying nothing to me. So I'm like, you know what I mean? I'm like, man, where this nigga? I know he here somewhere. I don't see you come to the game, right? I go to my whole team in my crew. I just started playing with them. I'm like, listen, man, I'm gonna tell y'all right now, we're gonna win this game by 25 points.
Oh yeah. You dragging your nuts.
I came out in that game, bro. I was so hyped to play and see you. I didn't score a point in the first half.
For real?
Nothing.
Oh man.
Bro, I was like, I told my man my man Obi. No, you probably know who Obi is. You probably know Obi Ukoma, that he played for First Baptist and shit.
Yeah.
Long Reach with me. But he told me, he came up to me, he's like, yo, you got to calm down, yo, you got to relax some. I'm like, bro, I'm telling you, bro. That was, and I swear to God, bro, I was like, man, if this nigga shows up to this game, I'm gonna do that to him. Because I got you feel me?
Right,
you was nowhere near High Point High School that night. I don't know where you was at.
Right.
We still lost. And I said, I said, man, I will never get my motherfucking shot. I will never get my shot, man. And you know, Go ahead.
No, because some of them games they wouldn't let me play. Because they wanted some of them guys to get like confidence, going into the next year. So
and see, it made sense.
Yeah.
It made sense.
So I'm telling you, was one of them.
And like I said, man, and that was a game. I swear to God, you talking about somebody circling something. It wasn't even like more so about worried. It was more so about, because I tell Otis all the time. It's me. I got a good relationship with O now, so I tell Otis all the time. The first time I played O, my whole team didn't score in the first quarter.
Right. Damn.
So, and he's the point guard on the team. It's him, Henry. Everybody on his team is 6'6".
Right.
He the little thing on the team. I'm like, man, and he carving us. I'm like, man, this is crazy. Like, what the fuck?
Yeah, that's what he do. Yeah.
So later on, I'm telling him, like, yo, this type of shit. When I made sure when I seen him again, and I wound up seeing him before that Rock League, we had a fall league at Douglas. Seen O, and we beat him. And I said, I will never worry about playing this nigga again because I got that one off my chest.
Right.
The next one is Jamar Briscoe.
We ain't never get to duel it out, right?
Man, but it wouldn't have been no damn duel. You would have got yours, and I would have had to go home and take some more notes and shit. But I'm gonna go ahead and digress. I'm gonna get further on because I don't want to hold you up for too much longer. I didn't want to have you on for this long. So,
right, yeah, it's a lot. It's a lot, man. It's a lot.
man, and I got another episode. Like I said, I got another idea. I want to get you, and a couple other guys on, and all of us. You know what I mean? In the same, or if we together, whatever. But my thing is now, your senior year, you did what you did, and now you're kind of you're who you are. You're a household name around the city, right? And to a lot of guys, that would be enough for them. And we see examples of this all the time. I'm not even gonna call their names out, but we see guys that are just good enough, and or just good enough with the city respecting them.
Right.
Before I go into the college thing, what was the one thing that you kept in mind the whole time that kept you out of the streets and kept you on the basketball court throughout high school? And the reason why I say that is because you know, like I know, once you've gotten to the position that you are, man, you can touch anything. I'm talking about, you know, what situation.
Right. I honestly, the same dangerous neighborhood that could have swallowed me, you know, honestly saved me. You feel me? You know how they say it take a village, you know, to raise. And Charlie Hill, Mount Royal, and then you know my mom, and my stepdad. That was all the support I needed. Like and then I seen it. It was there in front of me. I didn't have to. It wasn't fabricated. I didn't have to. You know, some people get that urge of jumping out there, you know, for the thrill or just trying to see. You know what I'm saying? Then get caught up in something that they weren't supposed to be in. I didn't have to do that because it was outside. It was literally outside my door. You know what I'm saying? It was close enough to me that I didn't have to. You know how you touch the pot and it's hot, and you say, it's hot. Somebody tell you no. I didn't have to do that because I believed that I seen it smoking out there. Yeah, I listened. You know what I'm saying? And but the ball though, man, it just I don't know, man. That shit became addicted, like a drug, like that neighborhood, that neighborhood love, that city love. You know that support became addictive, and I ain't want to let them down.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? I ain't want to let them people down who supported me and kept pushing me So, and I was around a lot of older dudes, man, who played, who should have did this, could have did this, or who did do this. So I had so many different stories that I could balance out, and personalities and shit that I could balance out, and it pushed me. It motivated me. Like, so that fear of being the smallest dude, that didn't bother me because I was playing against older men all the time. That fear of, you know, just being an underdog, that didn't bother me. Like, because like you said, niggas knew. I just couldn't. I just was waiting for my time to prove it.
No, that's a fact.
Like, niggas knew. Because if you was ever in them lines with me, it's gonna be a dog fight. Like, it's gonna be, and it's gonna be a good one. It's gonna be you gonna remember it. You feel what I'm saying? And that's what I wanted to do. I wanted to make it an experience for you, for myself too. You feel what I'm saying? So, and that's how I carried it, man. It just, the city produces it. The city does it itself. Like, that's what we came up around. And if you want to be somebody, you had to have that in you. If you didn't, you'll get put to the wayside.
No, that's a fact. That's a fact. I got two more things, man. I'm gonna keep this. We at an hour 53 right now. I'm gonna keep this under 2 hours, right? And because the college thing, that's a whole nother monster. We probably have a different conversation about that.
Yeah, for sure. That ain't really Baltimore, but you know what I'm saying. The college shit, you can look that up. You feel what I'm saying?
Yeah, exactly.
This Baltimore shit, you can't. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
I'm looking for tapes and shit like that now, man. On
right.
That's what I want. I want that high school work. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. So now you look at this kind of this overall this picture that you painted, and you look back, man. what was kind of, you would think that is probably like the best moment out of this whole situation, like throughout your high school career coming through the Baltimore situation? What was probably like the biggest, brightest moment that you would probably say? And you could say in AU, and I asked just to give you an example. Like I gave my man KP this question, and he said, "Man, we was out Baltimore one time. We was doing this tournament, or whatever, and somebody from such and such team gave me the phone, and I was talking to this person. He was talking about, yeah, I give you this guy, I give you that." Because of a performance that they might have had, or a big game they might have played against some pros, or whatever the case may be. What was one of the highlights of your high school career, if you could think back on it, whether it was AAU or a high school game you played? What was the biggest highlight you think you could?
Oh, shit. I think one of the biggest games, or just I think I got two. I think um that definitely that Mount St. Joe game, that if I'm correct and just the one you saw, I think I had that Mount St. Joe game was crazy.
Better not have said nothing else before that. I was going to go right on you. Something else. But
Yo,
go ahead.
I mean that was crazy. You gotta think of playing a game like that. I think double overtime, one overtime, or some shit like that.
Two.
And I had like 39 points. But it wasn't about how many points, because in the moment I'm not keeping track.
Never know
Because
the track. When you in the zone like that, you don't even know what's going
yeah,
on.
so it's like we playing against literally a rival school. I'm talking about, like, I didn't hate these guys, but the schools hated each other.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah, yeah.
yeah, I'm playing against, on the other side. That's God me, is one of my closest friends. Like, so it's. Both our families was there. It was so many dynamics to that game. You know what I'm
Yep.
saying? And it was our last time playing each other. You feel what I'm
Yeah.
saying?
Oh, see, I didn't even think about that aspect. Yeah.
Yeah. So it was so many different dynamics to that game. It was like it was almost like a party coming into it. Like, you know what I mean? Like, kind of like a day party or some shit. And it was just so I knew. I was I didn't I wanted to play so well. I didn't think I was gonna play that well though. Like, bro, like I said, I missed two shots. Like, I remember the article came out, and it was just and then it was me and Justin on the front page of the. We wasn't just in the sports section. We was like on the
It was
front
on the
page, and
front page of the
it was
Baltimore
on
Sun.
it was on the front page. And I think I got that joint, and it was like when they came out with that stats line, it was something crazy. Like, it was like 17 for 19, and then it was like I was like, I think like 6 for 11 for 11 from the free throw line, 4 for 4 from there. Like, I did miss a shot, and it was like, damn, what the fuck?
Nigga, it
You feel
was
what I'm
so
saying?
bad. It was so crazy. It was it was one of them pro moments. Like, you know what, the pros, when you watch and they be like, yo, you be surprised if they miss.
Right.
It's like with a pro,
I,
you watch it and you be like,
yo,
you be so stunned when the nigga missed. It was like, yo,
yeah,
when it was like,
and
whoa.
bro, I was a sore loser. I was like the worst loser. Like, I probably wouldn't speak to teammates for days. Like, I was the worst. You probably could tell you. Like, I done probably made him uncomfortable so much of it. You gotta think, man, probably came in together for 4 years, so I probably done
No,
made him
yeah, for sure.
so uncomfortable, because I hated losing, and he been a part of. He was there. He was there when we was losing. He was there when we started winning. So he could tell you. But it was like, yo, that game. It was like that was the first game. It was like I slept, comfortably with losing. It was like, because it was just the dynamics of that whole game, man. Like I said,
Yep.
our entire families was there. It was our last time playing each other. It was a rival game. It was a big game. It was ranked in the nation. And it was like, shit. Like, I really felt like it was nothing else I could have done. We lost, I think, about by like one. And it was like, I
Yep.
felt like that was like me signing, like, or dropping the mic, like, for Gibbons. Like, I'm out. Like the Obama out, Kobe out joint. You know what I'm saying? It was like, I did my part.
Remarkable.
Yeah, I did my part. And I can leave against the rival team. They ranked nationally. I performed incredibly. I'm good. You know what I'm saying? I think that was it for me.
Man. And like I said, I don't want to hold you too long. So at another point, I'm gonna ask you about the college stuff. But Just one last question, real quick, and I'm gonna go ahead and let you go. Get back to your festivities. It's fucking 10 o'clock. I know we got some more margaritas. Um, if you could give me your top 5, and it don't even got to be just from '08, just like from somebody from our vicinity, because you know certain dudes that like you would think that it might even have been in our class. They played with us for so long. If you can give me a top 5 from around our area, from around that '08 to maybe from '06, maybe from '06 to about 10, who would you put in there?
Oh man, so for me, is it order or just top 5?
I don't want to.
I ain't gonna order it.
Yeah, it's no order because it really can't. We can't.
My favorite, definitely, one of mine. Was Sean Mobley for sure. You can't really dismiss him. He scored 2,025 points, some shit like that.
Ridiculous.
He passed my culture. You got Malcolm. Malcolm was literally unguardable for 4 years. A 6'3" point guard from the area. Dante was a highlight reel. Shit. Who else was between? Actually, them guys might be too old, but shit. I used to love, me personally. I used to love watching O. O was definitely one of my favorite players to watch. Let me see my 5th player. Would have been Desmond. Desmond was
your man.
That was my man. So that would have been my top 5 that I enjoyed competing against and watch. That was my and that vicinity that would have been '08. Yeah, the 10. Yep.
Yep.
Yeah. So
now,
without including myself. But
now this is the next one. What 5 would you bring to the court with you to go to battle with you if you was included? Not now, you including yourself, so you really only got 4 other people. Who you bringing with you to come play that pickup game to win that game?
In the '08 class?
No, just in general. Who you? I mean, as far as players. In general.
I'm definitely going with Mose, Sean Mosley. I think you gotta go with a big. I'm gonna go with. It might be that same 5.
Might be that same 5. Might be that same 5. Who you leaving off?
I probably had to leave. I would probably leave O off because then with me on the team, you wouldn't need O. So
and I was now see that's the conclusion. That is the conclusion. This is my favorite question in the world.
Yeah.
A lot of people don't know this, and I don't give a damn. Omar Strong and Jamar Briscoe are easily my 2 favorite players in the history of at-home basketball. I'm talking about easily. Now, and you in both of your heydays, who gets that dub, man? Who gets the W?
That's.
Have y'all had a bunch of battles?
No. We had one battle. I think it was a 3-on-3 tournament of Cloverdale. He won that. I think he won that time. But we wouldn't be able to play each other. We wouldn't finish the game,
bruh. I'm gonna tell you,
it'd be too competitive. Especially back in that, it would be too competitive.
Bruh, listen, this is a real story. I asked 10 people this same question that know both of y'all.
What?
10 people. 10. 6 people said the game would not finish. 3 people said, based on the fact that O got you in that 3-on-3,
right,
he would get you.
Right.
And the other one said it would be you because he ain't picking nobody else but you. And that's one of my homeboys because he in the same capacity.
Yeah.
And all I told myself right then and there, I said, man, 6 people out of the 10 said the game would not finish.
It wouldn't. It'd be true. It'd be. I don't think I would lose with an L. I know he wouldn't. I know he'd think the same.
Yo, the last person
that would have been bigger than You know what I'm saying? That's what
That's
I
bigger
don't
than
know, man.
Gucci.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, and wait, man, that was crucial because he was retired. I mean, he was killing the city. You feel what I'm
Yeah,
saying? And this the honest to God truth. I was kind of mad at him, man, and not like really like you know what I'm saying, but I was like, why you gonna come play with us? Because I
yeah,
always felt like he didn't get enough exposure because he played. You know, he was like killing the local shit. So I'm like, yo, come play with us. We traveling. We going this place, that place. I think he played for Baltimore Select or some shit. I'm like, we don't even bump into y'all on a road. Like we don't never see we see I think we seen him in one tournament that was like in Vegas or some shit. But that wasn't even a live tournament. Like when I say
right.
live, like, the college coaches can come out. So it was like, yo, come play with us. And then why would like we got the buzz in the town. Like you know what I'm saying? Come get on the team and we can do this shit together. Because for real, we worked out together all the time. He got a lot of family out Cherry Hill, so that Jamal Omar shit was. I mean, that shit been brewing slime since
Bro,
man
man,
forever.
I prayed for nights where I
So
could see, and I'm talking about like I said, like, because you gotta think like, and this is no knock to where I'm from, but it's just like we got our people down there, like we got our things, but we always looking at that shit, like especially
right.
me, like I'm looking at this shit, like man, these two niggas ain't nobody messing with these two dudes, bro, like.
He was a motherfucking dog, man. He was a dog. He
So
was a
I asked,
dog, man.
so what I did is I went to Devin Smith. So I said, Dad, let me talk to your father, Mr. DeWan.
Yeah.
I said, Coach Wan. I said, what was going on in that prime matchup? He said, Queen, this was the sixth person. He said, Queen, that
Right.
game's not finished.
It ain't. He know. It
I
ain't.
said, man, that right there, that let me know enough. That's all I needed to know, man. That's all I needed
Right.
to know.
Yeah,
And,
man.
and, and,
But
and that's,
know that, man. That's my guy, man. He know that I got the utmost respect. I don't know. I always been a fan though, and I feel the same with him. You know what I'm saying? Like we
feel like
never really.
I feel like he's the same way because anytime I think I brought it up to him one or two. I think I brought it up to him one or two times. I think I asked him about it, and it was just like in some fast shit or whatever. But oh, he's not giving nobody nothing. But
No,
he's
and I
like,
don't
yo, yeah,
respect him too. I don't respect him too.
yeah,
That's what I'm saying. And we ain't really touching, but that was like once we got in high school, it was like that's when like Troy kind of, Troy was doing his own thing, and other guys he was getting better. Larry was getting better. Justin was doing this. Like other little guys was coming up doing their own thing, but like at the top of the tree, it was man. Oh, when you talk about like the '08 basketball class, like I mean, it was him. He was in the paper. I was in the paper. Like it was crazy. It was like it was night and day.
no,
It was
that's a
night and day.
fact, man, and that's for sure. And people that know that have followed my page and stuff. Oh, I did my first video after I started this whole little situation. I did my first video with Omar. You know what I'm saying? And I got honestly from the very beginning. I wanted this interview from like the very, very, very beginning. This is the truth, like because I
Right.
know, I ain't even ashamed to say it. Like I said from the beginning, I know, and I'm not ashamed to say that y'all two dudes was really pushing everybody else, and they are not gonna say
Right.
that.
Yeah.
They will not. They will not say that. Troy might say it because Troy's a humble guy, and me and Troy's cool. So if I was to talk to Troy about it, whatever, he'll throw it in the mix. But anybody else is gonna be like, man, I ain't. They was whatever they is and all.
Right.
Nigga, I know what was up though. I
Yeah.
totally see shit. You feel me?
Right. Yeah.
And it was definitely a remarkable thing, man. And I want to give you the utmost praise for. I'm talking about putting it down when you was in high school, dog. You was one of the dogs,
Yeah.
one of
I
the
appreciate that,
craziest
man.
dudes out there, man.
I appreciate you giving me this platform, man. It really, shit. This was like some therapy, man.
Yeah,
This was definitely therapeutic, man, for me. Man, I don't think I ever talked about shit. A lot of these stories. You feel what I'm saying? Even to even Alex and you know what I'm saying. We never even really get together, and I would hope in the future we can get together and share some of them high school memories, man. I don't have like I don't really get to talk to too many people about it. So I was excited, man. It was crazy. I was like this towards to be like, yo, you know what, yo? Nah, I ain't going to do it.
Yeah,
I ain't going to do
bro.
it.
I swear
But
to
I
God.
was like,
Man, I swear to you, bro. If you think about the and this is off topic, but if you looking back at them messages that I was sending you,
right,
if you look at I'm like, yo, I appreciate it, yo. Thank you, bro. Thank you, my
right,
nigga. Because like you can
right.
tell with certain niggas, I ain't like certain niggas that's really about it. Like, bro, I ain't trying to talk about that. I ain't
Yeah,
trying to go
you
back
feel
and
what I'm
live
saying?
that. I don't gotta talk about that. Y'all niggas can talk about that. You see
Right,
what I'm saying?
right, right. That was my
So
mentality for a long time,
I
man.
really
That was my
appreciate
mentality.
that, man.
But it's too many. It was too many false prophets. It's too much talk at the time. You know what I'm saying? That shit that didn't happen, or it's the story. A lot of stories was wrong. So I'm
Yes.
definitely looking forward to getting on that platform with with some of the Mount Rushmores, man, and really so we can really chop this thing up and start putting things back in place. You know what I'm
No,
saying?
man. I'm all for that, man. And I'm definitely gonna make it happen. Like you say, might want to connect with friends and with P one more time. I'm definitely gonna make it happen, man. I'm gonna have friends on here. Probably if not later this week, then probably next week. So we're gonna make it happen, man, for sure, for sure. You know what I'm saying?
I
And
bet, man.
other than that, ladies and gentlemen, like I said,
Yeah,
we got so much more we can talk about, man. First of all, how this dude was an All-American as a freshman in college, but like I said, we're gonna wait till we get a little bit more accessible. We might have him come through the studio and talk about that. But ladies and gentlemen, man, I really want to say again, man, I really appreciate you for coming on. You know what I'm saying, and just giving us a brief discussion on what you was going through and what you was doing in high school. We didn't even get into a lot of the stuff that we wanted to get into, but people are going to be excited just to see this part of it.
right.
And just having you on here and kind of talking about your story a little bit, because you don't get to really talk about it that much and don't really talk about it that much. So I really, like I said, I really, really appreciate it, man. And you taking your time out these last 2 hours and 10 minutes. I wasn't supposed to be that goddamn long.
Right. No bull.
I really, really, like I said, man, I really genuinely appreciate that, man. And I wish nothing but the best for you, man, going forward. And is there anything you would like to say before you get up out of here?
Nothing again, man. I appreciate the opportunity to speak on this platform. I'm definitely locked in, man. You doing something special for the time, man. Keep it going, and if we gonna get this thing bigger, and hope other people will come here and share their stories, and keep it 1,000, and you know what I'm saying, and just keep it going, man, for the sport, for the culture, and
No, that's a
that's
fact,
what it
man.
is, man. I appreciate it.
No, no doubt, man. No doubt, man. And like I said, man, 1,000 thank yous to you, man. And hope you and your family be safe out here during this crazy time, and and
Yeah,
stay to yourself. Don't get no viruses, and don't be around nobody with no
right,
bullshit. This is crazy.
right, for sure. And happy
Yeah, man.
holidays. I'll catch you, man.
Yes, sir, man. Happy holidays to you too, man. I appreciate it.
All right.
All right, bro. That was my man Jamar, man, and I really appreciate him coming on tonight, talking that good shit, man. We're gonna have Jamar back on here pretty soon too, man. We're gonna have some other legends on here. Alex France, we was talking about, was one of his point guards, and we're gonna have our fair share of being able to get this information off to y'all. I'm gonna go ahead and sign off. Um, Thank you guys for joining the Gift is Free podcast tonight, man. We had Jamar on here, and I really, really appreciate him coming through. He really don't give us that much of an inside scoop. People that know him don't know he really don't talk that much. So I'm really thankful for him coming on tonight, man. And when Corona is over, we'll be able to get him for much more and talk about a lot more things. And we'll go from there. See y'all soon, man. Appreciate y'all. Always remember the gift is free. It's all about what you're going to do to separate yourself from your host, Beyond Queen, man. I'm out of here. Holla.